Hey, this is Andre Gower from the Monster Squad, and you're listening to Video Store Rewind.
Video Store Rewind.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the podcast that is known as Video Store Rewind. Before we get started, I'd like to spend a special thank you to Andre Gower, who played Sean Crenshaw, the leader of the Monster Squad, which is the movie that we are reviewing today, released August 14th, 1987. With that being said, I am Rich. To my right is...
Zach, hello.
Threw you for a loop. And to his right is...
Maddie, what's up?
Matt, how are you doing today, bud?
I'm doing good.
This is Matt's pick, guys.
Yeah,
Monster
it is.
Squad.
I'm gonna keep my
Super
voice.
excited.
I'm gonna keep my voice down this time because
You're not doing good.
I might be
Superman
yelling
does
right
good.
now.
You're doing
Guys,
well.
if you do get a chance, Andre did us a big favor by calling in and doing that little intro. Check out his website, ryanandandre.com, where he is hooked up with Ryan Lambert, who plays another star of the movie, Rudy.
Andre's a super nice dude. I just want to put that out
Super
there.
nice dude. They have a podcast called Short Ends and also another one called Squadcast, and they're both super cool. I checked it out this
like
weekend.
Monster Squad, right?
Got it, yeah. Matt, your pick. Can you tell us a little bit about this movie if you've never seen it?
Yeah, like you said, it was 1987 Monster Squad, childhood movie of mine, favorite of mine. Sorry, and it basically
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, right. You got, as he sits with the Stephen King Rules T-shirt on there.
Monster Squid.
Monster Squids. So it turns out there is a, I don't want to say epidemic, but there's something going down in a town, and a lot of epic movie monsters from like classic times, like Dracula,
The Universal
the
movie
Mummy.
monsters,
Yeah,
right?
Universal movie monsters. Thank you, Richie.
No problem.
And a group of preteens decide to take down these monsters, and it's essentially a monster squad.
Who better than preteens?
They are preteens.
I know. Who else would you
Prepubescent.
pick?
I think we got some voice cracks in there too. Yeah, but other than that, Zach, do you want to tell us what's going on in 1987?
Oh, for sure, Matt, but not without a word from our sponsor. This week's podcast is brought to you by our friends at Farmer Jack, reminding all of our listeners that it's always savings time at Farmer Jack. And don't forget that for every purchase, you can earn double frequent flyer miles redeemable for any Northwest Airlines flight in the United States, except for Alaska and Hawaii, the freak states.
The freak states.
Yes.
Freaks, you fucking freaks.
All right, so yes, the year is 1987, where the average American may have been listening to Walk Like an Egyptian by the Bangles in their Ford Escort while on the way to see the local cinema to see Three Men and a Baby, all with enough time to get home and catch the newest episode of The Cosby Show. All right, so there you hit the little wrap up there. Matt, do you want to tell us what kinds of games and toys the kids were into?
Oh, yeah, but first I want to say that today is a very special episode of Video Store Rewind. Because not only did 1987 bring us in outstanding movies, albums, and other types of glorious pop culture, it also ushered in one of the best theme songs ever composed in a cartoon.
What?
Nay, entertainment in general.
Belvedere?
Wait, and it goes
Can you...
a little something
We've covered James Bond Jr.
like
so-
this.
Life is like a hurricane, get in, duck, bird, race cars, lasers, aeroplanes. It's a duck blur.
That's right, DuckTales premiere 1987.
Launchpad. I couldn't remember his name.
Launchpad McQuack.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a great show. Do you guys remember watching it when you were little? And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you loved it?
DuckTales. You're talking about DuckTales, right?
DuckTales, yeah.
Robot Duck.
Yeah.
What was the Robot Duck's name?
Gizmo Duck.
Gizmo Duck.
Gizmo
oh
Duck.
my God. Okay,
GD.
thank you so much.
All right, moving on. If you weren't watching or singing DuckTales, you might have been playing Mike Tyson's Punch-Out for the NES, which I also have for show and tell right here.
Wait, when did it get switched from? You know I don't know if we know this, if we researched enough. When did it get switched from Mike Tyson's Punch Out to just Punch Out?
Punch Out.
It was Punch-Out first, I believe.
No, it was Mike
thought it was
Tyson's
Mike Tyson's
first,
Punch Out.
and then they changed it to Punch Out because. There it is.
That's
in all
sound.
glory. What was his name? What was it? Who'd you play as?
You play as a Little Mac.
Little Mac. Thank
Yep,
you.
this is on my son's
Little
3DS.
Mac.
If you guys want to pass it around and check it out.
Thank you.
I wanna
Thank
look.
you. Little Mac. Yes.
Little Mac, yeah. And that can you name a character from Punch Out?
I used to know all their names.
Isn't there like a boxcar guy?
Boxcar Willie.
No, it's not Boxcar.
Is there? What's the? I don't.
I used to
remember
know
the
all
first
their
guy.
names, man. That's terrible.
I'm doing pretty well.
Glass Joe, Von Kaiser.
Yeah, Glasgow is who I was thinking.
You know,
This is the
Zach,
first one.
Great
I don't want to
Tiger.
take this away from you, but
Piston Honda.
everyone does well on the first level.
No, that's almost the end. Mike
I just
Tyson's
got
next.
punched out.
Oh, I'm talking shit.
So it's on the 3DS. Make sure you push the middle screen to save my son's game. And you know what?
Delete
Yeah,
that shit.
KO'd. He KO'd my ass.
Good job.
All right, I
Richie.
just shut it to end it.
For the toys, yeah, just shut it. For the toys of 1987.
Oh,
poor
no.
girl.
Do you guys remember these little
Oh
gems?
my
Ooh.
god.
Oh no!
That I do.
Don't worry, I got more. I got all 6. Do you guys
Wow.
remember Mad Balls?
Mad
Yes.
balls. Do they have
These
Do they have names or?
Yeah,
They do have.
Yeah,
it's
they-
kind of like.
they do have names.
I don't want to put everyone on the spot with all these questions. Do we know their names? or-
Hornhead.
Hornhead. Well,
This one looks like a bubby.
This is Screamin' Mimi.
Mimi.
Screamin' Mimi. Yeah.
wait a minute. That looks like the Major League logo.
Where's
kinda,
Slobulus?
doesn't it?
I think you
Or
dropped
what's-
Slobulus. That's Slobulus.
Slobulus, yeah.
Yeah. So
Looks like Frankenstein.
anyway, this was at the height of the what did they call that? The gross out toys.
Yeah, like garbage
Oh,
pail
yeah,
kids.
like-
Garbage Pail Kids and
No, that's
Boglins.
Boglins.
Yeah.
And then
Boglins was very.
not
you
too
mentioned
far.
Boglins before. and it
Not
looks-
too far off from Creepy Crawlers, too. Not
Right.
that many years.
Were those the ones that were like little?
It was like the Easy Bake Oven where you made the gel stuff.
Boy, was that
Yeah.
a terrible thing to give kids.
Oh yeah, that's
Like it's messy. It doesn't work well. It's hot.
I had it and I loved it.
Creepy
I think I still have it. I should have
Crawlers.
brought it. I think I have it. I don't think it was 1987.
Oh,
I
it wasn't.
used
But
to
I'm
have
saying
Creepy
like
Crawlers,
this.
though.
This is the stuff that paved the way for all those gross out toys.
My dog ate it too.
So
Today,
these are
she
supposed to
ate
be
it.
like bouncy or
It's just something fun.
This is the
something
new.
gross.
This is the new line. They
Okay.
were a different material last time.
They're
I
foam
thought
now.
they were like
Before they were
bouncy
like a
balls.
harder plastic, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Right?
I think they were harder foam. I know they're foam, but I know
okay.
they're hard. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the 1987 rewind.
Nice.
With, toys, Richie, you wanna?
cool.
Take
Well,
us- take us,
Zach
or-
covered it for number one for 1987. 3 Men and a Baby. It raked in $167 million.
Is that the
can't
one with the
believe
ghost?
Over 167.7, almost 0.8. That's crazy.
Is that the one with the ghost in it?
Yes, there was a ghost child. If you
and
YouTube,
it's supposed to be behind the
Yeah.
behind
window.
the curtains,
In the window.
and it's supposed to be. It's actually like a cardboard cutout of somebody.
I'm going to go through real quick because you can tell that 1987 was a big year.
It was
for my
huge,
childhood.
dude.
All right,
Huge.
2, Fatal Attraction. 3, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
I'm glad Fatal Attraction
4.
was part of your childhood.
I'm just going in order.
Directed
here,
by
goddammit.
Adrian Lyne, Jacob's
4 was
Ladder.
Good Morning Vietnam.
Whoa.
5, Moonstruck. 6, The Untouchable. 7, The Secret of My Success. 8, Stakeout. And then 9 surprised me.
What was that?
Lethal Weapon. I thought that was way higher than that, but nope. 9.
Also written by the writer of Monster Squad, Shane Black.
Yeah. So Lethal Weapon. Then we got The Witches
A
of
pretty big
Eastwick.
year for him.
Eastwick. Now 11 is probably. I feel like it's the best. It stood the test of time. People mention this one a lot. Dirty Dancing. Was 11. Isn't that weird?
I never hopped on that bandwagon.
I know, but I figured it'd be higher. The reason I'm going past 10 is because 11, Dirty Dancing, blew my mind, and then 12 was Predator. Come on. What else with Predator? Who had a big year that year?
Shane Black?
Shane Black was in Predator.
And he's also writing
Oh, my
the new
God,
Predator,
isn't it-
which is a succession to the first one.
We have an
It's gonna
honorable
skip
mention.
all the other ones. AVP.
Honorable
all that
mention,
bullshit.
number 16,
Oh yeah.
Protector of New Detroit, a.k.a. Delta City, RoboCop.
I just almost did the Terminator theme.
RoboCop. With that being said, I just want to say
RoboCop.
that our film Monster Squad finished 124 of the 238 movies
Oh
listed for
my
1987.
They had a big premiere too.
What number was it again?
It was 124 out of 238.
That's bad.
Listed for 87, and then I hate to do so many honorable mentions, but I have to mention that number 140 was The Stepfather, starring Jill Schoen,
That was-
who was also the star of
Popcorn.
Popcorn.
That's
Thank you, bringing it
amazing.
all the way back there for you
I'm
guys.
trying to look to see which other movies that are really bad that beat it out.
Oh, it beat out bad movies.
Oh,
but
Ishtar. Didn't people say that Ishtar was supposed to be the worst movie ever? Or
I've
something?
never even heard of it.
Never heard of it.
It's Dustin Hoffman and something. They're like wandering the desert or something. It's supposed to be.
I've heard
It's like
of it.
The
it's
Stand by Stephen King.
supposed to be so bad that like people would joke about it.
Our film has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 53%.
Not bad.
It's 53% rotten and an audience score of 78%. A highlight from I read a lot of reviews from this guy from the heyday of the 80s and stuff because it's listed, you know. His name was Vincent Canby. He worked for the New York Times, and he said it was a silly attempt to crossbreed an hour gang comedy with a classic horror film, which means that both genres have reached the end of the line.
He kind of called it, though, because there weren't really Universal movies after that.
Not really. I mean, yeah, I guess, but Vincent Canby, he was such a tight ass, I'm sure.
He sounds like a douche.
All right, that's about all I got with all my facts. So
Jaws 4: The Revenge was number 54, by the way.
Jaws 8. Wait, what was in Back to the Future? It's like Jaws 8 3D.
Okay, we're going to get off subject, but I just want to say that one cut of Jaws 4, Mario Van Peebles gets eaten and killed. He's obviously dead.
All right.
But then there's a TV cut where he comes back out of the water alive. And it's so obvious that he dies in the attack.
Kind of like Ving Rhames and Jacob's Ladder.
It's so weird because in the regular cut of the film he's dead, in the TV cut alive. But anyway, sorry, off track. Matt, taking it back to you, can you tell us about this film again to jog our memory?
Yes, the Monster Squad is a club of young teens who idolize monsters and monster movies in the treehouse of Sean, our main character, in his backyard.
Played by Andre Gower.
Yep. Big shout out to him. He was a great guy. When Sean is given the diary of the legendary Abraham Van Helsing, his excitement is toned down when he discovers it's written in German. He and his club then enlist the scary German guy from down the street to translate it. But when he reveals that tonight is the 100th anniversary of the monsters being banished, he and his club must rush against time to prepare to do battle against Count Dracula, Wolfman, the Mummy, and Gillman/creature from the Black Lagoon. Which is,
John
Zach
Gilman.
and I were talking about this earlier. I think they changed maybe to Gillman for...
He's Creature the whole movie.
Copyright reasons, maybe.
Remember in Eugene's, like, Creature stole my Twinkie.
Creature, and then all of a sudden Gilman in the credits.
Right? All right, take us on a ride, Richie. Let's start.
I just want to point out that you pop it in, the movie starts, and...
The TriStar. Are you going to the TriStar logo?
Look, TriStar Pegasus intro. Childhood indication that this movie was about to be fucking lit, son.
Yep.
I used to get so excited when I was younger and I saw that.
Yes,
Every
dude.
so often you'd be disappointed. But I can't remember what movie, and the listeners are going to have to Google it yourselves because I don't feel like doing it right now. But there was an alternate intro for the TriStar Pegasus for some films where as it took the flying leap, it would go... I don't know if it said Wilbur or Hi-Ho Silver, like in a Mr. Ed voice.
What?
Yes, it's super bizarre. But no, you see that TriStar Pegasus coming, and you know it's going down.
Anything could happen.
It opens with some scrolling text, and it just informs you that this is 100 years before the events of the film are going to take place in Transylvania, and you see an angry mob approaching a castle, which we later find out the angry mob is led by... Abraham
Van Helsing,
yes.
and with a body of freedom fighters.
Wait, can we talk about the script? Because it's kind of funny. I kind of chuckled at the end. It's like,
absolutely.
What is it? The Van Helsing and them tried to rid Transylvania of its monsters, and it's like they blew it.
Yeah, they blew it.
Dude.
That was great.
Yeah,
that was great.
They blew it.
The original in the screenplay, Shane Black wanted a cavalry of 100 men on horses and all that. And the director's like, if we do that, that's our budget. Like
our budget.
we can't make the rest of the movie.
Our budget's $11. No, I don't know. Damn, why I'm unprepared. I should have known the budget because what I want to say is that the practical effects of this movie,
awesome.
The budget was 12 million, I think.
Okay, 12 million.
You just know what it grossed?
Oh, you know what? You know what's so stupid?
What? It's right in front of you.
It's right here in front of me. Well, it grossed 3.8 million, Zach. Spoiler alert. But fucking idiot. God, I hate myself. No,
wow.
So
Richie's drinking again if you guys don't.
$12 million they put into practical effects, I'd have to say, because I mean some of the stuff that happens in this movie is absolutely amazing. They probably spent $10 million on that cool painting backdrop of the castle. Did you guys notice that?
Yeah.
As they're walking up. So as the text said, Zach, they blew it. So what happens? They walk in and they try to perform this ritual.
Right, and there's like the portal opens, but none of the monsters get sucked into it, right?
None of the other monsters were there.
Van Helsing and his crew are the ones that get sucked in, right?
Yeah,
and a dead bride of Dracula.
Yeah,
I wanted to go back in the beginning when it's panning across the catacombs. It's funny because the noises for the rats were actually guinea pigs.
Yeah, I
Oh,
read
really?
that.
And the rats weren't rats; they
Armadillos
were
or
armadillos.
something, yeah.
Yeah. So if you look real close, I guess maybe a shadow. It will look like a rat just because of the body shape, but they are in fact armadillos if you look very close.
Really?
Yeah, they're armadillos.
Those are really fucking
Yeah,
big
you know,
rats.
and like I was wondering, because they show the bats, right, and they all have the red eyes, and then they do a close up on one.
Ass bat.
Yeah, and that's obviously Dracula, but he has the red eyes just like the rest of them that are glowing. So I'm wondering, are all these bats, are they all vampires? Are there just a shit ton of vampires?
no, because he was significantly larger than the other bats.
Gotcha. I just really like that it's the classic Dracula garb. You know, like how can you
Oh,
go
yeah.
wrong with the? That had a name.
He's. I don't think he did. He have the
Yeah.
the
Yeah, he
bolo
had the
tie?
little medallion.
He does the transformation. They show this.
He does the backflip backwards
yeah,
off
and then
the
he
thing. Yeah.
falls down, and he's got just the classic cape.
He kind of
and-
looked like the old Christopher Lee Dracula, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did.
yeah.
He did.
You know, they've got the angry mob does arrive before all the portal opens and everything. They've got all kinds of weapons. They've got pitchforks, torches, dynamite.
They have oversized crosses too.
Oversized crosses. Dynamite is a big
Lots of dynamite.
Oh, yeah.
part of
Jeez.
this movie. I've noticed.
I made a note of that. I was
Um,
like, what is... Everyone loves so much dynamite.
These
for?
unconventional ways
So
of killing people.
keep in mind, this is a kids' movie. As soon as they walk into this castle, Van Helsing's strapped. He pulls out that motherfucking crossbow dog, and
yeah.
he pops that the vamp.
Point Dracula's bride.
I'm
Point
gonna
blank.
yes. Well, Bride of Dracula. I'll refer to female vampires as vamps.
Vamps.
So
Vamps.
Okay.
pops the vamp, kills her, and I'm thinking,
I'm
man,
in-
I
I'm in-
watched this a million times when I was a
Damn
kid.
it! I missed it. I was gonna say I'm into hentai.
So they start doing they start reading what is that, chant or
a spell.
A
They're
spell.
reading. They're
I don't
reading
know.
his
And
diary.
we,
Yeah,
we
his
see
own
this,
diary.
we
Incantation.
see a focal point of this movie, which is the amulet, and it. I don't know how they did the effect of the amulet glow.
Oh,
It looked
was
just like
it
one of
was-
those laser thingies.
It was the laser was in the base of it, and it was a glass. It looked like a crystal. Where they set it on top of the green laser light.
Man,
so it was.
I
Shooting
thought
all
that
around.
was the whole. Every time I saw it, I was like,
Later
wow.
on in the movie, when Sean removes it, you can see it go, and like, it just goes
She's
out.
easily impressed.
This is 1987.
It's
Zach.
like a Christmas
It's
light.
not my fault you waited. It's not my fault. My fault you waited till 2017 to watch the fucking movie.
You remember when you used to take the Christmas lights apart and you used to hold the two ends on the D battery? Like,
I don't think I did.
Practical facts.
Yeah.
So why is everyone speaking English?
If they're in
that's-
Germany
Wah, wah,
or Transylvania,
wah.
I mean.
Romania.
Oh man, then the zombies. We get zombies because then the ground cracks open and the
Oh,
corpses.
those skeletons are so cool.
Yeah.
Did you think they were cool?
They were awesome.
Again, cool practical
Really,
effects.
really
Yeah.
cool.
There was the movie
Came
is
out, like
threaded.
grabbing and I just
Yeah.
thought it was cool. So the young lady reads the spell. That's when the portal opens up. Everything gets sucked into it, and then we're back to 1987, present day.
1987.
What's going on in 1987? Someone tell me, because we just boom. It's a focal point of a school.
Well, they're in
and-
school.
Yeah, and it just immediately opens up with a bully scene.
Oh, yeah.
It does, yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't it
immediately.
cut back and forth to
With
the
Fat
principal's
Kid.
office?
I thought Fat Kid was first.
I
Fat
think
Kid
so.
first?
Let's see.
Yeah,
we'll
Fat Kid was
see,
first.
Blah, blah, blah. Kid in school getting in trouble. Yeah, no, it starts off in the principal's office.
Yeah,
Oh,
'cause
does
he's
it?
scolding-
Oh, my
yeah,
bad, my bad.
He's bringing up their disciplinary report, and
That's Sean and Patrick.
Sean and
Right.
Patrick, they're explaining the monster club, because at this point,
Sean,
it's the monster club.
it's the Monster Club, correct?
Oh, I just realized my note from earlier. It said, portal opens, girl goes bye-bye.
That was the Dracula's bride, right? Or
Yeah,
no, the Virgin.
No, the girl.
The
Yeah,
Virgin.
she got
So,
sucked in, right? Okay.
That's what I was telling you
the-
earlier. I love how after they kill Dracula's bride and she's just chilling on the floor, you don't
Right.
see her. But when the portal opens, her body like sweeps across the floor.
They were drawing pictures of their teacher with a cat head and making fun of her in these pictures, and they
yeah,
get busted.
Mrs. Carlson.
So the principal's giving
It
them a
eats
talk.
people. It eats dogs.
Yeah,
and
and the principal like rubs his shoulder for a second, like, I know you guys are good kids, basically. And so they walk out, and the quote that I like is Patrick brushes his shoulder off in disgust, and he goes, "God, I smell like I'm 40," which was funny back then, but now that I'm 32,
Smell like I'm
not so
40.
fucking funny, Patrick. And guess what? He's older than me. He's probably like 42.
Smells
now.
like coffee and cigarettes.
And then we get to the bully scene, which
yeah,
always
which
sticks out
was
in memory.
yeah, which was there. This movie is laced with homo and faggot references constantly.
There's a lot of casual homophobia in the 80s.
Casual homophobia.
But the first-
What'd you say, you faggot? It's like, Jesus, dude. And that was what's his name from Wonder
I really
Years.
want
Jason
you guys
Hervey.
to take over for a minute, but I just want to read this that says, EJ fucking sucks and calls fat kid faggot 4 times. Fat kid responds by mumbling asshole. But I was like, dude, he just said, he's like, what'd you say, faggot? What'd you say, faggot? I'm like, what is this dude's problem?
The bullies.
Wayne Arnold. From,
Wayne Arnold, correct.
The
Yeah.
Wonder Years.
I don't know if you guys caught this, but they had a really solid move where Wayne Arnold, I'm going to call him Wayne Arnold, he was holding,
that's fine.
He was holding his fist up with his thumb out like a microphone. And he's like, he asks like, what, he's like, what did Fat Kid eat today? Fat Kid, and he puts it to his mouth. And he doesn't say anything, and he goes, let's go to this guy. And when he passes his thumb over, his buddy does it.
Thumb,
he switches the thumb over to his hand.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh yeah. Here,
So then Rudy.
let's
So then.
demonstrate, Richie. This.
Got it.
There you go.
It's like magic. It's like a brilliant sleight of hand.
I'm really
great.
curious
It's great.
because we've seen this movie too many times.
Zach, over 1,000.
I've
Zach,
seen it
now-
once.
You've seen it once?
Yeah.
Rudy pulls up.
Rudy pulls up. He's kind of like a Corey Feldman ripoff, I think.
Fuck
A
me,
little
man.
tiny bit.
Come on. There is nothing about
way.
Rudy that screams Corey Feldman.
All right, I'm thinking of Corey Feldman from like The Burbs. Corey Feldman,
Lost
like
Boys?
leather jacket, maybe. Yeah, it's just like it's the slick hair, kind of the black gray bands, the leather jacket, the white shirt, the cigarette, and he's a badass.
Every
like,
greaser in the 50s.
well, basically, yeah.
Pony
He
boy.
lights them. Don't
Yeah.
skip over the fact that he lights
Yeah,
that
lights a
match
cigarette on the back of his loafers.
Lights
Should
it
he
up.
be wearing like motorcycle boots? Something. Never mind.
Was a kid.
He makes EJ eat the Snickers bar on the ground. Everyone goes, ew, even though it's like, it was in the wrapper. Is it really that gross? I don't know.
It wasn't in the wrapper.
it wasn't in the wrapper.
I thought it was in the wrapper.
No, it
it's got
was
the-
like peeled off around.
Oh.
It's got the print of his Adidas in
Yeah,
it, and
there's
I
a
would like
print-
to point
there's a
out the
shoe
print
print on
of the Adidas because Adidas is product placement heavy in this film. If you guys
Is it?
ever watch
I
it,
didn't
gonna pay
notice it.
attention.
I didn't notice the product placement.
Everywhere.
I noticed Burger King product placement.
Yes, everybody's wearing Adidas, and then there's a fight scene where Sean's dad gets tossed into what? A big giant stack of Adidas boxes.
Really?
Yeah, go ahead.
I didn't notice that. Let's see, blah, blah, blah.
Can I just remind
Yeah, go
everybody
ahead.
it's the return of the fingerless weightlifting gloves that Rudy is wearing?
Oh, yeah.
That is
I forgot to add that to
That's
the
a
just,
sta- 80s
just one of the
staple,
guys.
yeah.
Just one of the guys.
Rudy got those when he beat Greg Tolan's fucking ass. is
Oh
what happened.
my god, dude.
So they walk home, and then they run into Rudy, and they consider letting him into the Monster Club, as they called it at the time.
Yes.
And then they cut to 2 random men flying an airplane.
No, I want to ask you a question
Did I miss
because there's a pretty key debate that happens on the walk home.
Okay.
They're talking about a scary German guy, and they're
Oh, yeah,
debating
yeah.
why does Wolfman wear pants? And the end answer that we get is to hide his wolf dork.
Right.
and then Patrick goes, Wolf dork.
Exactly. And then Zach, go back to the plane. I'm sorry. I just want to point that.
No,
out.
I must have forgot about that part. Yeah, so the 2 men flying a plane, we don't know who they are, what they're doing, but we kind of pick up that they're transporting dead bodies of some
Maybe to a
kind.
museum. Maybe.
Sure. Or like a really awesome hearse. I don't know. They hear a noise. One man goes back to check it out, sees a bat, and then Dracula like clocks him, like,
And then he like
which is weird. It's like, what?
Dracula.
rabbit punch. Yeah, he's sweet. He's like.
Did you see?
He rabbit punches him.
Did you see? And when the guy gets hit, did you see him falling? You could tell he puts his hands down first and then like rolls.
Oh no, I didn't notice. I just thought it was funny that Dracula has like a wicked like left hook. Like
There's a lot of
what
jabs.
would Dracula normally do? I don't know.
Bite a throat.
Probably
Bite him.
kill him somehow. He wouldn't just punch.
I just thought it was funny
in
that he
this
gave him a
movie,
little
Dracula
rabbit punch.
uses a lot of unconventional ways.
Dracula
of a
starts
vampire.
Yeah.
He starts working the kidneys.
He's like shoe shiners.
You know, Zach, I don't know if you got this far into your research, but Wizard Magazine, which is like
Oh yeah, this
prestigious.
is great. Yeah, this is a great.
He's
fact.
number 30 on the top 100.
I saw that.
That
He
and then
was
you
a
do more
good Dracula,
research,
man.
and he's considered one of the best interpretations
He
of
is.
Dracula.
I think he
film.
is good. He was great.
I still like Harry.
One of my
but-
favorite lines is at the end of the movie. I can't wait to see
Okay,
it.
so
'Cause I
then
worked on
he
it.
punches the pilot, and then you see a crate that says Frankenstein, and he rubs that crate so creepily, doesn't he? He's
A
like-
little bit. He's
my
really good friends with Frank.
Yeah.
and then I just love how it's labeled Frankenstein. What?
Those 2 guys are like, I'm not taking this.
Yeah,
crate.
that box belongs to Dr. Frankenstein.
Jeez, Louises, Christoph Christ. So then
see. Wait,
the guy's on the ground looking at Dracula in the plane, and he's like, "Ugh," and the cargo door opens.
You go
up.
back. Wait, you go back there. I'm going to stay up here and make spooky noises.
Yeah. the bottom opens up, and Dracula with
turns
his
into
powers.
the bat.
Yeah, and he transforms
Cape,
into
no,
the bat.
Cape falls away.
Yes.
Cape gets sucked out of the because that's an important part. That cape getting sucked away.
Yes, because where it lands.
Dracula
But I like where the
What's
crate
that?
falls.
I'm just laughing. Rabbit punch.
I like
Rabbit punches.
because then they show the scene where the crate falls, and it doesn't fall into a field. It doesn't fall into anywhere, but it falls into a lagoon. What
A
else?
black lagoon?
What else is found in lagoons? Scratching my head.
Blue
I don't
Lagoon.
know.
Could it be Gilman?
How
It
convenient, how
was
convenient
not-
for this
Did-
plot.
Don't. That's black. Do not say Gilman.
Steve Gilman.
Yes, that's exactly who it was. Steve Gilman.
He's like, hi guys.
So we cut to the
Oh, it's
clubhouse,
Billy Gilman.
and Rudy is he's peeping Tomming.
Oh wait a minute.
yeah.
What? Where's the Cape land?
Oh, the Cape lands like
50 feet.
50 feet outside
From the
of
treehouse.
the
Luck.
monster clubhouse, because they're not a monster squad.
They're giving him the monster test, which is comprised of 3 questions.
What was
based
the
on
first
monsters.
question?
Wait, they're in the clubhouse, which is a pretty badass clubhouse.
It's pretty cool.
It's a major step up from that crack house from Rad. But
yeah.
proceed.
They ask him what can kill a werewolf.
2 ways.
2 ways to kill a werewolf: silver bullets, and then they couldn't think of another way.
Yeah,
Right?
Rudy goes, that's it.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, wrong. And he's like, okay, so what's the other way?
And then he didn't get a chance to say, right?
Well, no, they all guess. They're like,
No, he told them that's the only way, and they're
yeah.
like, "Oh no, there's another way."
explosion?
They didn't
Car
know.
crash?
They didn't know. They didn't.
No,
know.
remember they all guessed. They're like,
Yeah, they
car
were all
crash?
guessing, but you could tell that they were like,
Oh yeah,
just,
they're bullshitting.
Yeah, bullshit.
And you know what? Which is an early indicator that they
bullshit,
fucking suck at
bullshit.
being in a monster club.
Exactly. But hey, preteens.
Prepubescent teens.
So, I don't remember how that scene ends, but the next note is Sean gets the Van Helsing book from his mom.
But I mean, from
Who confuses Godzilla with Dracula?
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. That was just shitty writing to me.
Who
It wasn't
gets
even
their-
supposed, was it supposed to be funny because it wasn't.
who gets their kid
Who's the tall one?
a diary by a guy named Van Helsing from a creepy house on Shadowbrook Lane, like
Shadowbrook Road.
Road, yeah.
I wrote like Shadow Hill Boulevard on my notes. I couldn't think of it.
Is that a Sonic the
Fucking-
Hedgehog zone?
Zach was the first time viewer he's bombed. He's like, I think there's monsters in this. This is spoopy.
Dracula's not even real.
And then we see Dracula in a pimped out hearse.
Police station. Wait, see, Sean gets the Van Helsing book.
59 Dodge Coronet or Coronet.
Oh,
It was a 1959 Dodge hearse.
Nice.
Kind of like a crossover.
dude, and it had that pimped out skull on the front of it.
Oh
and
my
everything.
god, dude, that was a badass car.
And he's just standing on this ridge or hill, whatever, overlooking the city, just
his,
like
his
kinda
voice
taking
is
it
real,
all
like,
in.
Did he talk? Did he say like soon or something like that? Or
yes, soon.
soon? I
It
love
was like a
his
cat
voice.
meme.
There you
What was it? Oh, that was sorry.
He's
that was
got
like
a great voice. I love his voice.
Skeletor. I just did. I'm sorry.
All right, so let's see. I got that.
We're talking.
Speaking of that, Masters of the Universe came out in '87 too, didn't it?
Oh my god, are you smoking my salmon right now?
a canon film.
Oh yeah, Richie, that's the same shot where the lightning and his face changes to a skull real quick.
yeah, it does.
Which I
Okay.
still like.
It was still cool.
Is
No,
that
I'm surprised I didn't write that down.
Obviously,
because it
that's
was
not
so
a practical effect, but that's
Cool.
like,
That was just him wearing a mask, and they spliced that scene in real quick.
dude, that was
Yeah.
great. They did
was
it
really
great
good.
because he was still as fuck, man.
Yeah.
He didn't move at all.
I agree because I remember that specifically from when I was a kid, and I saw it. I've seen it many times as an adult, and I'm like, whoa,
Yeah.
that is
Dude,
still cool.
Immediately after that is the very intense werewolf scene.
Oh,
he's not a
shows
werewolf.
up
well,
at the
no,
police
actually,
station, right?
we have to
Police station, yeah.
We have to show you that there's problems at the Crenshaw house, because then we see Sean's dad getting ready, and Sean's pressing him like, "Are we going to go
Oh, that's
to a movie?"
right. Yeah.
and then there's a little bit of an argument, and you find out that this is where I explain to you that Sean's dad is a cop, and it's taxing on his marriage because he's getting ready, and then he says, "I'm getting
Mom's
ready.
making dinner. It's almost done. Too.
I'm getting ready for the marriage counselor because they're going to the marriage counselor."
I thought she was wearing like a smock or something.
She's probably getting ready for.
Yeah.
She's probably getting dinner ready, and they're bouncing. They're going to the marriage counselor,
I could have swore she's wearing like a fucking apron.
and
Yeah, I
that's
think so.
when
I'm bringing.
that's when
Yeah.
Dale, who's Sean's dad, his partner calls,
Yeah.
and that's when.
Which I'm gonna say this constantly. I cannot stand that guy. His partner.
I don't like it because I don't like it
he's
when
in
he
a
has to
bunch of
interview the
movies
guy
where
at the
He's
museum.
so loud. He's like me.
It's like, you mean to say this mummy just walked out of here
Yeah.
and you didn't see a thing? It's like, he already told you didn't see anything. Calm down.
But what you meant was...
I like your guys' sassy black cop voice.
Was that obsessing like that was? I don't know.
we don't have any pictures of ourselves on our Facebook, so we could be black.
It doesn't matter. I mean, anybody. Can
Yeah,
do
we
it.
could. Well, I don't know. Can we?
All right, so the mummies escape from the museum.
Well, the guy's in the background. The guy when the partner calls Dale, and he's like, "I'm a werewolf and a full moon's
And
coming."
that was in a super intense
He's going
part.
straight Macho Man Randy Savage.
I also want to point out that is Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite.
exactly. Yes.
Wait, who's Uncle Rico?
The Wolfman.
the Wolfman.
Really?
Yes.
How much
did
you want to
not.
bet I could throw a
Dude,
football?
you
over
didn't
the
watch
mountains?
this movie because right after
did
that
watch
he
it.
throws a football over a mountain.
I can throw a pigskin
But
a quarter
before
mile.
the mummy, the guy goes insane, and this is again.
He's a great actor, dude.
I'm going back to
He was-
kids movie,
Yeah.
because he fights the cops, grabs one of their guns, doesn't try to kill him. He shoots in the
Blows him
air
up. Lock
because
me up!
because he basically wants to commit suicide by cop, and they do.
No, he wants him to lock him up.
Yeah, but you grab a gun from a cop. What do you think's going to happen? And they kill his ass.
No, they did.
No, they
yeah.
shoot him.
But he
Boom,
says,
boom,
but he's
boom.
yelling, "Lock me up!" I don't think he's wanting to commit suicide.
So the guy that played Wolfman was not him, but is it like the guy who just played the guy who turns into Wolfman?
Yes, it's the same
I'm
guy.
trying to find his name here.
The guy who is saying "Lock me up," that is Uncle Rico.
The Unwolf Wolfman is Uncle Rico.
Yeah, the
from
Unwolf
Napoleon
Wolfman,
Dynamite.
which is a great. You know what?
What's his name?
I don't know his
idea.
name. The I can look it up right now.
I'm
I'm
trying
trying to think of a really funny fake name, but I could.
The
Tom
I really
Boner,
like the
Tom
dynamic.
Boner mask. I don't know.
I really like the dynamic of the Wolfman character because when he is human, he does not want to be
No.
Wolfman.
Right.
And I don't know if
It's like it's like the Incredible Hulk.
Have you
thing.
guys seen another werewolf movie where they don't want to do it?
I've seen it where they're scared of it and they're concerned, but I've never seen one where they're so like stop
so
me.
against
like
it.
David
Dracula has to sedate him.
It's like a David Banner type deal, you know,
man.
like he doesn't want to be the Hulk, but he has to be the Hulk. That's when we get to the scene of the museum where it's asked a 2,000-year-old dead guy he says a 2,000-year-old
John
dead
Grease?
guy don't
Yeah.
get up and walk away by themselves, and then the next cut is to the mummy walking down the road.
And that's when the ambulance passes him.
Yes,
With the Wolfman,
With the wolf-
with an awesome change. Oh my god!
Actually, man, I was sitting here, mate, taking the notes, and I wrote ambulance passes by, and for the 5 minutes my wife was there, she couldn't help but correct me. She looks over and she goes, "Corner van." So I had to.
Oh, it
I
wasn't
had
an
to
ambulance, it's
Backspace,
corner
backspace,
van.
corner van.
Corner van.
I think the next note is
Corner
shut
van?
up.
Oh,
Coroner.
coroner. Got it.
And he's unknowingly transporting the transforming werewolf corpse.
And this motherfucker's got his Walkman in.
Yeah, he's like
not giving a shit.
And if you guys remember those headphones for Walkman, what was the noise cancellation on those little foam
It was
joints?
a
There's
thin
that
strip,
zero,
It was a thin strip
Right.
of wire.
zero. It was
The,
like it was like putting two cotton balls over your ear with a rubber band.
No, I think cotton balls were even better.
I think so too.
But the change that he goes through when the moon is out, and he starts bubbling almost. Like the body bag starts like bubbling up and stuff like that, and then you see his claws come through his shoe.
Right.
Like, oh man,
Yeah,
it's so neat.
it's really cool.
And then all of a sudden, you get the front shot of the guy driving, being a tool.
Yeah.
And then Wolfman just out of
Yeah.
nowhere, and he's a really cool Wolfman too.
Yeah.
He's not like a traditional he doesn't have like the long snout like a dog. It's
Right.
like a
Well, I guess he was modeled after the face of Stan Winston.
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, guys, I'm sorry. Andre Gower just emailed me again.
Are you serious?
Whoa, what'd he say?
I'm sorry. I called
say you up?
Squadcast is a podcast, and I called Short Ends a podcast, which it was as well. But I guess they film segments for it and do graphics and stuff. So he says it's a TV show. If you could check that out on www.projectalpha.com. Cool. Short Ends.
That's right.
Andre
Project
Gower,
Short Ends.
Ryan Lambert.
ProjectAlpha.com.
Sorry, that was a brief.
We
Celebrity.
will always stop for
Zach,
Andre Gower.
celebrity friends. So stupid.
Excuse me, you dropped something.
Wait, hold on. I got to stop this. I just got a Google alert. Andre Gower is emailing Richie.
Oh, there you go. So the product placement that we talked about earlier was BK.
Yeah, BK.
Could you have a better house? Because this is the scene where we cut to where Where's he
Sean's rooftop setup.
Oh yeah, because it's
I would
within
kill
viewing
for
distance
that.
of the
Oh
drive-in.
my god! When
I
I
would
was
kill
little,
for that.
I was like, I want my dad to bring me cheeseburgers when I'm sitting on the roof watching a fucking drive-in movie.
You know what
There
I
you
didn't
go,
understand
kid.
though?
It's got
is
the radio.
Yeah,
'Cause
it's awesome.
we have a drive-in near us. Did you guys grow up going there?
What?
The
I didn't go to drive-in movies when I was little.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
we
saw
didn't
a
have
double
one near me.
feature Rambo and
I used to go to the
remember the
drive-in Ford. What is it called? Ford Line?
Ford Tell Theater.
Ford Tell?
Yeah.
Tell Ford, whatever. It's near us, and I used to go there when I was a kid a lot with the family, and they had this old school speakers. You put them in your car window.
yeah.
Right.
And then when I got older, you tuned into a radio station.
Right.
I never knew that when I was a kid, so I did not know how Sean could get the sound of the movie
Yeah.
when he's got the radio in his hand. But when I got
Yeah.
older, I'm like,
He's got the binocular, and those
yes.
binoculars are not small. Those are not small.
those are
time.
cop binoculars.
Yeah, those are cop
He stole
binoculars.
those from
I'm
his
surprised
dad.
he could pick up the signal.
He was relatively close. I mean, you can.
Yeah, he's pretty close.
It's funny because like it wasn't. I like how I don't even know if this was like in the director's thought process, but the way his house is set up, it wasn't perfect. It was an
Right.
extreme angle that he was watching it from,
which I thought was cool that they didn't make it to where it
Yeah,
was like
exactly.
flat dead on.
yeah.
So then they're watching whatever movie they're watching, and then we cut to Wolfman walking through the swamp. Where the fuck is this movie set? By the way, that
No
it's
one
like
knows.
it's like the swamp. I didn't understand where the swamp thing
Maybe
came
it's in the
because
south.
Well, if
I
you
was
look,
just-
if you look at where the clubhouse is, it's not.
it's woodsy.
It's woodsy, but there could be a swamp back there. You know what? It's probably not even a swamp. It's probably just like a little like holding
Yeah.
pond. You know what I'm saying?
So he's
Yeah.
walking through the swamp, the woods, whatever, and
Protection
he meets up. They all hang out. They all meet up in the woods with Dracula, the mummy. It's very obvious from the get that Dracula can control them somehow. He has some kind of command on them.
and it's the staff.
It's staff.
It's the staff.
Do they mention that? Did I
No.
miss that?
They're on his
When
staff?
Wolfman comes up to him, he holds up his staff, and the Wolfman stops. And then here is my note: when all of a sudden you see the water rushing up, they're all overlooking the pond at night. It's all dark and whatever, lightning, storming. I guess you can say.
Was it a dark and stormy night?
It was a dark and stormy night. I just like described the storm without saying a storm. But anyway, they're looking.
Were they having a staff meeting?
Just ooh, good one. So this coffin starts coming up under the water or from the water, and Dracula's holding his staff like this.
Yeah.
And at first, it's like, oh, sweet telekinesis.
That's
But
yeah.
It's not telekinesis. Guess who he's controlling?
Gilman.
Gilman.
Stop! It's not Gilman. It's Creature from the Black Lagoon, and he is controlling him, and he lifts up.
Man, I wonder what's in that crate. Only if it was labeled
Yeah.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. So
Huge letters.
Gilman throws the fucking this jankety wooden coffin on the ground, and it doesn't break open
No,
because it's made of fucking.
it's got to be
plywood.
strong to hold in Frankenstein.
Yeah, I don't even think it's the length of Frankenstein. To tell you the
Yeah, it
truth.
looks pretty small.
Yeah, but
Zach,
anyway,
if you had to guess, how long has Dracula had this plan that he has this convenient staff with these electro nodes that come?
we're not at the electronodes yet.
Yes,
You
we
wait.
are.
You wait a second. He pops that.
He's had
coffin
100
open.
years, right, to plan this, right?
That's right. So
Why
pops-
he chooses, Duluth, Minnesota, I have no idea.
We're and
Wherever they
also enter Frankenstein,
because
played
that's where
by
the amulet is.
Tom
Oh, that's right.
Noonan, who was
Tom
the
Noonan, yeah.
Axeman and Last Action Hero. He was the villain in RoboCop 2 or 3. I can't remember.
I think 2,
No,
maybe.
3 was the samurais, like the
Oh, okay.
samurai
Yeah,
robots.
yeah. So he was the bad guy in 2. Dude, he's in all
He
kinds
played
of
the
shit.
original Francis Dollarhide in Manhunter, the first
Yes.
Sounds of the Lambs movie.
Yes.
And also, I know him really well from some recent stuff. He was a really good character in an episode of Louie, the TV show with Louis C.K. He was in Anomalisa. He played... It's a movie where like all the other voices except for the main character are all voiced by Tom Noonan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's something like he's so bored and dull with his life that everything just sounds the same until he
what's
meets
it
like
called?
this one girl. It's called Anomalisa. But he meets this one girl, and she's the first person he's ever met that doesn't have Tom Noonan's voice.
Tom's Noonan?
Tom's Noonan.
Hey, Tom's Noonan?
I'm feeling kind of horny. You want to do a little Tom Nooner?
Oh,
Tom
he's also
Noonan.
in Synecdoche, New York, a Charlie Kaufman film. I like that
Oh,
one, too.
okay.
Ooh.
So they pop open the coffin, And how are you going to revive him, you know? So this is where
Conveniently,
lightning. How did he make the storm appear?
Let me clip these little things on the Dracula's.
Why is he Jamaican?
They're right here.
Bolt?
They're right here.
Let me
Oh,
clip
are
these
they?
things on your butt.
Okay, and I'm gonna hold this up high. Well, we're going with popcorn.
Wait, so he was
Me
Jamaican,
gonna
now
hold
he's
this up high.
Pakistani or something.
Was that?
What's that?
Never mind.
I know.
The when Tom Noonan / Frankenstein wakes up, it's pretty good because he's like,
Yeah.
Everyone, all right, we're gonna
the
go around.
Dracula-
We're gonna go around. I'm gonna do it first.
no, way deeper. No, it's way deeper. It's like,
I think we all just sound like we're taking a weird shit.
I sounded more like freaking Shaun from Shaun of the Dead when he's practicing to be the thing.
So the storm causes a power outage at the Crenshaws, and Phoebe's scared. So what does her mom do? What any other mom would do? She lights up this wicked candle that's got this big flame, and she sets it next to her daughter's bed.
Oh, yeah, and it keeps the monsters away, right?
Have we ever heard of a house fire, Mrs. Crenshaw? Because
Yeah,
that's
next
a
to some
good-
pillow, like
Yeah.
where the
This is the
nightstand.
80s,
The
so
night,
nothing was flame retardant.
yeah, exactly. The nightstand was flush with the mattress.
The nightstand was
I'm
made
just
out
gonna
of
put
sawdust.
this right. I'm gonna put this right next to this
Matchsticks.
bottle of Aquanet. Come on.
Next to
Jesus.
this
And
Aquanet
then
napalm.
Sean is, everyone's, they think the kids are asleep, so Sean's spying on mom and dad, and they're having a hardcore argument.
It's a pretty badass argument for a kids movie.
So Sean's like, he's sad, so he goes into the kitchen or wherever he goes,
Oh, I love
and he
this
notices
stupid note.
a note that says, "For Sean, caller, Mr. Alucard, message, interested in Van Helsing diary, possible money. Our genius leader realizes the name Alucard is actually an anagram for the name
Dracula.
Cardle.
He tries it twice. Andre Gower seems like a really smart dude, but he does that in 3 seconds, and it is super easy. I get it, but still.
I
So
wrote
you said-
down one
it said-
single note that says Sharpie because
Wait,
he's writing with the number 2 pencil in the dark, and you can't see him writing anything down.
Oh,
You can't see it. So, but you know he figured it out because
Please-
it's fucking Alucard.
Well, please tell me that you got this right. So you said that he sees a note said it's interested in the Van Helsing diary. Do you see what it actually says on the board?
no.
You had to have noticed it because I noticed it. I was like, "That's really good." It said Van Halen. I swear to God, it said
The mom.
interested in the Van Halen diary.
Really?
I read it. I was like,
fucking-
"That's kind of funny."
The fucking mom.
It's Van Halen, yeah.
The Godzilla and
I feel like I have noticed that in the past,
At
but
first
when I was
Van
writing
Helsing,
these
and I
notes,
looked at it again. I
but-
was like, "Oh, that's Van Halen."
But do you remember how I told you, like, because last time I did handwritten notes, and Zach was like, "Why don't you just type those?" So I typed
go
this time.
perf.
I know. I'm just Zach. I don't really. He didn't really do that. He went like Dracula when he saw my handwritten notes or Frankenstein. No, but like I read the note. And I probably looked at it say Van Helsing like 15 times and still wrote Van Helsing. And
I did
didn't
too,
even-
Because
yeah.
you glance at it, you're like, "Oh, of course, that's what it says." But
Van Halen.
That's good, Zach.
I'm
I
just
like
glad
that.
no one saw that but me.
That's good call.
Do I win?
Here you go. Get a mad ball.
You know, and there's
Here you go.
there's like
Oh,
two or
have much,
three scenes.
for those who can't see, I just threw a mad ball at Zach.
You did.
There are 2 or 3 scenes that always stick that throughout time have stuck into my head, like the fat kid snicker one, another one I'm not going to say because we're not there, but then this one where we meet this we've already been introduced, but I think we learned his name. His name is Eugene. He's a very small child. He's actually played by Michael Faustino, who is David Faustino's brother. David Faustino was Bud Bundy from Married with Children.
Bundy from Married with Children.
He goes and wakes his parents up, and he's like, "There's a monster in my closet."
I love this part.
So
I want to, but I do need to stop you because there's a website called brandedintheeighties.com. And they have a page that's called Taking a Closer Look at an Awesome Bedroom.
Oh man, it's so good. I
And
noted that.
Eugene's
It's so good.
Eugene's bedroom.
He's wearing his Robotech pajamas.
That's right. Listen, okay, he's got Robotech Odyssey pajamas. He's got Punisher posters. He's got Garbage Pail Kid stickers all over his room. He's got a My Fucking Pet monster in his bed.
Hey.
Godzilla toys and a Wolverine poster. And when the dad
Robotech shirt, my pet monster. Yeah.
when the dad goes to
He's like, "Ooh, scary monster in the closet, Eugene."
First he's like, "Okay, is that good? Did I scare him away?" And Eugene points at the closet, and the dad stands facing the same way as the door.
Right.
He
Yes,
grabs the
with his
doorknob.
back to the door.
He opens the door so it's in front of him, so he can't
You
see
see
in
a
the
creepy,
closet.
creepy
And then
mummy.
creepy ass mummy standing there, all brittle and shit, moving, like staring at Eugene. And the dad's like, "Oh,
So scared.
so scary!" And Eugene puts his hands over his eyes. One of my favorite parts.
I love that scene. Always
But
have.
the thing
always
is,
will.
that's a quick motherfucking mummy because when the dad gets out the door, he looks at the window.
Oh yeah,
and the
he
strip.
really slinked away quickly.
Yeah, the strip of bandage is going out the
Now,
window.
we don't know all the powers that a mummy possesses, but I don't think stealth is.
We're gonna get to the end where we see the
We already
mummy
know he has
powers.
like a broken foot because
Yeah, exactly. This is a really exciting part after this because Sean gets the guys together.
Yes.
And he tells them of all the evidence that he believes that there are real monsters, and they form their monster club transforms into a monster squad. Squad up, everybody, because shit is getting real. They
Fat
form
kid
it.
farted.
Fat kid farted.
No, it was Pete.
With Pete-
Rudy's like, how does that dog get up here anyway? Which I always thought, how the fuck does that little
carry-
dog
they
get up?
carry
you
there?
know Eugene's not carrying that dog up there.
Carrying the dog up the ladder?
Not
Yes, so.
Eugene.
Not Eugene.
maybe it was like a pulley system.
We got Rudy when they're forming
Sure.
the monster squad.
By the way, I love so they all do the hands in. I love the dog paw.
Yes.
You
So
gotta be a
great.
sucker for the
Because
dog
you
paw.
want, you know what that signified later on in the movie. We'll talk about that later. He's part of the squad, and he proves it.
Oh yeah, because he does something. I don't know.
Oh, I can't wait.
So they show Rudy still creeping on the hot neighbor chick, and this time he's graduated. He has a camera, so he's popping pictures.
Super creepy.
This is getting super weird for Rudy. I'm sorry. Then we have to go back to Shadowbrook Road in
Yes.
Dracula. They show the Shadowbrook Road house.
He's talking to Frankie.
Did anything in that house remind you of something? I believe it's referenced later on as Hardy Boys, but I immediately thought of
No, that's later.
That was
on.
later.
That's
yeah,
later
yeah,
on,
that's later on. But I believe that the first thing I thought of was Scooby Doo, because there's a statue of what looks like Jack Daniels. It looks like one of the Jack Daniels statues you see at the liquor store, and his arms cocked out, and Dracula's like, and he like opens a trap
Oh,
door.
see, I put General Custer in my notes.
Oh,
Whatever.
General Custard, like
John C. Riley walks by. The
I
house
think-
was built in 1902 by General
So
Custer.
we have a brief break, guys. We have a group message going on where we discuss what we're gonna do, and there was the cops were at Zach's house, and he's like, oh man, neighbors are going crazy. He's like, I think it's a custard.
Custard. Oh, that's right, Custardy
I
battle.
mean,
Yeah.
and Zach is super good with his grammar, guys. Don't think that it was. He just typed it real fast, so like he was gone.
He typed that on purpose.
Yeah,
I did. I sure did.
me and Matt were like, oh man,
Fucking donuts.
ice cream jokes. You get back, and Zach's like, you guys are.
Yeah, that
fucking
woman got
right.
arrested. The woman got arrested.
Oh, did she really?
I don't know why.
Where?
2 houses
Oh,
down.
okay.
Well,
I was like, because she seemed like she was sweet.
No, not yeah. She's cool.
Okay.
I don't know the people 2 houses down.
I
but
got you.
She was screaming. Other people were yelling at her, calling her a drug addict. And
Well, let's hope that works out for her.
Exactly.
well, anyway,
Moving on.
Scooby Doo trapdoor. Dracula.
She's gonna get the podcast in prison and come and fucking kill you.
Dracula finds the need to explain to Frank that his mission is to retrieve Van Helsing's diary from the children.
listen, Frank.
Yes. If they
Get
don't
this boy.
cooperate.
I
Okay.
need you to find the diary. Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Do it. Oh wait, what is it? If they do not give it to you, kill them.
Kill them.
Dun, dun,
But
dun.
I also put a note here. Why send the most unqualified monsters
Right.
in the fucking
Exactly.
diary
I would
when you
send-
got a fucking wolf man on your side? He can. I pissed me
I guess
off.
he would be the scariest, right?
Who?
I don't know. Gilman's pretty scary
Wolfman
too.
would. Yeah, Gilman is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, he's got scary
So-
teeth.
I can't believe we fucking called him Gilman now.
Well, that's his name in the
I've
movie.
always called him Creature because of
I've always
Eugene.
called him Creature. I'm just doing it to
I
be
mean,
a
I'll call him
dick.
creature. That's fine.
So the kids decide that it's time to get this diary translated by the only one that they know is
Scary German guy.
scary German guy.
Oh, before
qualified.
that, we need to say that we see a clip. Sean's sister Phoebe, is that right?
Yes, Phoebe.
Sees Frankenstein near the river.
Oh yeah, really short.
which is an homage to the original Frankenstein
Oh
movie.
yeah, you know what?
'Cause he
Zach?
goes and
I'm
sees the
so
little girl by
happy
the
that
river.
You saw that.
Because that's when they realize it's like, oh, he's misunderstood.
I got to
Like,
back this up. Did
he's
you
a
say
gentle creature.
homage?
an homage.
Is it a homage?
Homage.
Well, you can if you want to say
Homage?
it that way.
I thought it was like paying homage to something. Is it homage or
Yeah, it's
homage?
homage.
Zach just made me so happy.
I think.
I don't know. I've never heard it pronounced
Read
homage.
that note from me aloud, please.
Which
that
one?
top one.
Recreation of classic Frankenstein moment with Phoebe by Pond. Viewer thinks the worst. Yeah.
And I was like, I paused it.
Did
and I
you
was
think the worst? Because I thought the worst when I was little.
I did too.
Did you?
At
Man,
first, yeah.
I'm just watching it, and I paused it. And I was like, I couldn't believe that. And Rachel said, "What?" I go, "I've watched this movie 1,000 times,
Never found
and
out.
never picked up on that. This is the
Yeah.
scene from Frankenstein." But
Right.
thanks, Zach.
Yeah.
Good eye. Good eye,
No,
Zach.
and that quickly cut out, right? She just looks up at
Yes,
him.
yes.
And even
Yes.
You don't know. That's why you don't know what happened.
And I'm going
It's
to bring
open.
up this right now. The only thing you see of Frankenstein is his big-ass fucking wooden clogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does he? He's already tall. Why does he need a 4-inch sole?
They explain that.
Do they?
Well, they don't explain it, but I think I have a theory of why they made his feet so fucking huge. So let's move on.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. They
Scary
approach
German guy.
scary German
Kicking
guy,
ass.
and they find out that scary German guy is actually
Kicks his
very
own ass.
very nice, and he proceeds to translate. for
All
them.
right, who would like another piece of
Patrick
cherry
says-
pie?
My favorite quote of this scene is Patrick says, "Scary German guy's bitchin'."
Bitchin'. And he looks up and smiles. He's like,
Yeah.
well, I am.
Oh
Guess I
man.
am bitching a little.
So then we find out that once every 100 years, at the stroke of midnight, the amulet can be shattered. Otherwise, it's indestructible. You seem to a lot to know about monsters. That quote, which
Oh, this part, yeah.
I didn't pick up on when I was a kid.
Oh, I did.
Wait. Let me hang on one sec. Where's my note?
Me.
Zach, take it whenever you want it, baby.
So you
It's
know a lot
yours.
about monsters. I suppose I do. So that means that he was a Nazi?
No,
No,
did
he
you see the
wasn't a
tattoo
Nazi.
on his arm? He's got the
but what-
concentration camp numbers tattooed
He's
on
a
him.
Jewish dude.
So
he
was in a camp.
He was in the camp.
Like,
Okay, what I meant was that he has personal experience with Nazis, aka
monsters.
monsters.
Yes.
Monstrous people.
Monster,
Right.
exactly.
Okay.
I suppose
you
I
sure do know a lot about monsters. Now that you mention it, I suppose I do.
And then
It's Australian.
and then nobody sees.
Now that you mention it, Mike.
G'day.
Nobody sees
So,
this.
wait, did we talk about how they talk about the amulet, right? Did we
Yeah,
talk
every
about
100
that? Okay.
years, it's
Okay, got it.
it's
He's so
midnight.
surprised when he read it. Oh,
Um,
tonight? Whoa, I just sounded like Dracula.
Yeah,
What's wrong with
Tonight.
You sound like,
Or no, was it tomorrow? Didn't they say it was tomorrow?
I thought he said
it's tonight.
tonight. Is it
No, it is tomorrow.
tomorrow? Yeah, that's right. Because
Okay.
they have to do the montage with the making
Yes.
bullets in school for some reason.
Love the
Yes.
montage.
Phoebe,
It is great, isn't it?
Phoebe
The
introduces Frank to the
do you
squad
say-
at this point.
It's called a montage.
Phoebe introduces the squad to Frank, and they're all scared. They all hide. Fat kid jumps in the trash can. They all run away, and Phoebe says, "Don't be chicken shit."
Oh, I
Shit.
love that line.
Yeah, don't be chicken.
love
Wait,
it.
come on, you guys. He's friends with us. Don't be chicken shit.
Yeah.
So then we
Any
have,
movie, I want to bring it up again. Any movie with kids swearing in it, I'm gonna love.
Yeah, exactly. And then we have,
That's why everyone likes South Park.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm not. It's a personal thing.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Exactly.
Like I said, I want to remind
I
everybody.
want to. I want a
Richie's
supercut.
back
I
on
want
the
a.
sauce.
I want a supercut of every time I say exactly because it's 50 times an episode.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well, every time you say it, I turn my head because I think you're saying my name.
What if your name? What's your middle name?
I don't want to say.
Paul?
Oh, is it Paul?
Paul.
Paulie.
I'm
Paulie.
I'm Edward. But
Zachary.
I just- what it- if
Zachary Paulie.
It should be Lee. Hey, Zach Lee. Exactly. Anyway.
Oh.
So
No.
He did it.
there is Frank's cool and the kids like him, and there's kind of a little quick sort of montage where he's wearing their sunglasses.
Wait,
walking
hold on.
around.
You gotta say what Fat Kid says about him. It's like, come on, it's not like he's gross or something. Fat Kid's like, well, he is a little gross.
Wait, this is when Frankenstein's in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. And then he's also creeping on the
So,
neighbor chick.
Sean.
But we had that little heartwarming moment. Did we talk about that?
Oh no, we didn't. Right before that, Phoebe introduces them, and all the kids are hiding. The monster squad is hiding.
Okay, got it. I'm jumping ahead here.
So Frank creeps on neighbor. He's really sad because they show him he finds a Frankenstein mask in the in the clubhouse.
I
He goes,
wrote down. I remember crying at this part.
it's like the only poignant part of the movie.
Yeah, he opens up. If you guys are familiar with the old costumes you got when you were younger,
They're called vacuum form. No, wait. I have one at home. I have a
yeah,
Predator
they're like
mask.
vacuum formed. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. But it came with like a vinyl costume with it. It was like a vinyl costume. It had one front-facing mask with the elastic band, just one elastic band around it.
Right.
And I mean, you could get a clown, Frankenstein, Dracula. You get all these things. So Rudy passes
Well, he's
him.
not
That's too high.
Chunk from Goonies.
He's not. You sounded like Chuck. Anyway, Rudy passes.
Tiny bit.
Who in the fuck is this guy?
So Rudy passes him the mask, and he opens it up, and he goes, "Scary."
Perfect, Matt.
And and he points, and like it was really sad, and like the little music came on, and then it shows them walking into the sunset.
You kind of want to give Frankie a hug.
Yeah. And then right after that, they're walking off into the sunset,
they're
and
walking
Phoebe
off.
grabs this giant ass finger.
Huge ass dude. That finger was. I know she's a little kid, but like that finger was huge.
Remember, it was like Shallow Hal when he met Tony Robbins. He's like, God, it's like grabbing a sack of bananas.
So then we see Wolfman and Frank in the dungeon, and they're knocking down a wall, and it reveals 100 years later what we saw before.
Oh,
the
shit, I'm not taking my shit off.
shiny green amulet when they knock down that wall. Which then we cut immediately into the staple of every 80s movie, the montage.
Oh, yeah.
Rock until you drop.
I'm going to find it right now. You guys
Something
do
your
the
heart
words.
stops. But so the
I thought it
montage
was
is
something when your knees fall off.
Rudy. You know what? I really dropped the ball because I
Sounds like
just got the Monster Squad vinyl reissue soundtrack, and it's super sweet. And I wanted to bring it in here for this point, so where I can just
that'd
like,
be great.
But I fucked up. Sorry. Rudy's making a silver bullet. He's making steaks, and he steals not steaks.
Did you say steak?
Not steaks like in food with A1 sauce. I'm talking about like steaks as in.
Oh,
through
now
the
you
heart
got
of the
me all
vampire.
excited.
He steals a bow and arrow. In this point, you see Eugene and Cran like riding the army. He says, "Dear army, please da 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 da." And they're also making
monsters.
Yeah, there are monsters.
Oh no! Let the dog licks the envelope. That was cute.
Exactly.
What?
Exactly. Son of a bitch.
You like that too?
So, and they're making business cards. I'm like, what? So,
Keep talking. It's on. The montage music is on right now.
Sing it to me, Zach.
Well, I don't know the words.
He sounds like
But you hum
Tevin.
it.
He sounds a lot like Tevin Campbell.
You drop.
Like thunder.
Until your knees fall off. Till you drop.
There you go.
So then we see Dracula talking.
Oh shit.
We see Dracula talking to the Wolfman, and you talked about this earlier, Matt, because Wolfman is in human form. So what did he do? He
Sedates him.
sedates him.
Heavily sedates.
Like, how heavily would you say?
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys, when I was setting up the montage music, I forgot to mention the bikes of 1987. They're clearly riding Redlines, Mongooses, Haros, and all the Diamondbacks, like the badass BMX bikes from 1987. Sorry, go ahead. I just
Straight
want
off
to
Do we
Set of
talk about?
red.
Do we talk yet about?
Patrick's got a red freaking Haro with white mags. I was like, damn. Sorry, go ahead.
Do we notice that right near that part of the movie, Rudy has his second spit take? He's looking at a photo.
No.
Something.
Oh yeah, he does when he's
more than one
he got
spit
him
take.
developed, and he's walking.
Oh yeah,
and
and
he's drinking.
But he has another spit take before. I can't remember what it was for, but
I don't
he has
remember
more
it.
than one in the movie.
Yeah,
when they ask her if she's a virgin, was
The
it
first time,
asking?
maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and he spits
yeah,
out.
you're right. That's an
Yeah.
important part because Rudy does develop those pictures, and he's going through them as the music's going, and he lifts his glasses, his Wayfarers up, and he spits when he sees one picture because it's the picture that Dracula took. Or not Dracula, sorry, Frankenstein.
Right.
When Frankenstein was in a clubhouse popping off pictures, he got nudes of the hot neighbor chick.
We talked about the sedated Wolfman, right?
Yes,
dude.
he
My
is.
notes are so
Frankenstein
weird.
has a normal sexual libido, right?
But Wolfman spits the pills out.
Oh, that's right.
He
does.
spits them out.
He acts sedated,
and he escapes. We don't really know.
He escapes Dracula's house. I put calls the police.
Oh, this is where
because he
changed
transforms
it.
back into the.
It keeps cutting back and forth. So the cops are discussing the pimped out hearse, and they put on APB on that hearse that you were talking about that you gave us the descript of earlier.
Oh yeah, the 59
so that's
Dodge
when Wolfman
Coronet.
calls, and he freaks out. He's like,
Now this
going insane.
This was one of my other than the Howling. Obviously, the Howling is the best wolf change ever. What do you mean? What
American
other-
Werewolf in London was pretty dope, dude.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember how long?
Is that the one where like
Howling
his fingers
was?
get
It
real,
was,
real long? Like,
oh, yeah,
I
but
remember.
the Howling was
like
like
very
a
similar.
minute
Yeah.
and 30
Yeah.
seconds of him changing. But the shot was the director was like rotating around the
phone booth?
The phone booth. And once it goes around that crack, he's like half werewolf, half man.
Right.
And he's like, hey, he's gonna kill your son. And shit's like, white shit's flying out of his mouth. Oh.
And then it's panning around in a circle, and then when it pans around, it gets blocked for 1 second.
It changed, And that,
it was really that's when I made a note, and I was like, man, these practical effects.
Yeah, he's my favorite Wolfman in any movie.
Yeah.
I really liked him.
I hate that. Well, I guess they get his stunt man. I'm like, I just wish that guy would have been the pre-Wolf and post-Wolf man.
Do you guys know much about Stan Winston?
Yes.
No, I don't.
Well, I know. Well, he's won 4 Oscars.
Yeah, Stan Winston
Jurassic
is like
Park.
He's like the king of practical effects.
Aliens, and 2 Oscars for T2 Judgment Day.
Yes,
but he's been like either done makeup or visual effects.
He's
or
got
both
schools,
tons and tons.
Oh,
of
no
really
shit.
cool. You could go and follow him on Instagram, Stan Winston School of Special Effects or
Yeah,
something.
it's
It's really
so
cool.
When I was readying that music, did you guys talk about why Rudy was able to make bullet molds in school?
No,
Why was there?
Well,
a
it
bullet?
seems really like he's like smelting pure silver.
But
It seems
why-
like it could be dangerous.
But why was there a bullet mold?
because he made it.
He didn't make. He's not a machine.
How do you know?
Sorry,
How do you know?
continue.
How do you know?
I
Oh, like
How do you
later
know?
how those
Fucking high
he knows nothing about bullets, but these
Listen,
magically
Andre-
happen to fit the gun.
Andre Gower, if you could get Ryan Lambert to email me to answer Matt's question, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
What was I getting at? Stan Winston also was in charge of making the scissor hands for Edward Scissorhands.
Oh, was he?
Yes.
He is the big league practical effect guy.
Very big.
Like
yeah.
you think of like Tom Savini for gore and stuff like that. But
I think he worked on the Thing too, but I don't know about effect, but more I think makeup.
yeah,
I think he does.
Stan.
both.
Yeah, Stan Winston. He's the man. He's the go-to guy, if you will.
Right.
Wow.
But go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
We ended up with the montage.
We
Transforms. They go back. Oh, the squad and Frankenstein go back to the house.
Yes, and
The
then
house on
Shadowbrook.
Shadowbrook.
And then we meet the hot chick that that Rudy's been creeping on and that he has the nudes of, and we find
that's
out
Patrick's sister, right?
Patrick's sister.
Oh,
Is
here
she the
comes
one at
80s
the-
sexism again? We're gonna blackmail you. We're gonna post your fucking.
Seal the deal, getting dude's hot sister, who says she's a virgin, to be the one to read the diary and destroy the amulet. Rudy blackmails her with nude photos, single-handedly creates revenge porn.
And here's mine. Back with
Nice.
Right there.
I didn't even think about that.
back with 80s sexism.
Yep, and my wife, like I said, in and out of this movie, didn't pay attention at all, catches this part, and you know my wife, Matt, she walked by and she goes, what a fucking piece of shit. Revenge porn much? What a fucking trash bag. And she walks away, and I'm like,
Just a movie,
Yeah.
babe.
yeah. So that's when Sean, Frank, and Fat Kid and Eugene approach the Shadowbrook Lane house.
Right.
With Pete
Pete.
and Frank.
Yeah, I said Frank.
Pete. What? So why does the house? Part of the house collapses on Frank.
And here we come.
But
giant
before that-
fucking wooden clogs.
Before that,
I really
they're
wanna talk
outside
about
and they're scared to go in, and Sean is like, our fearless leader is like, we got to do it. And Fat Kid's like, can't we just be the math squad?
I love that part, dude.
So, yeah, Dracula. This is Dynamite again.
Shit.
Dynamite goes into this movie throughout. He booby traps the house with Dynamite. Dracula does. So,
Well, he's setting it up in the basement.
yes, he's setting it up in the basement, but it's an obvious setup here. Explodes Dynamite and knocks Frank out.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. The giant fucking wooden clog causes ripples in the air or something, and it makes Dracula's.
Which Fat Kid says,
Dynamite.
we got to help him.
Go
They're
down.
trying to help him. And Sean's like, we need to go. And he's like, he might be dead, Sean. And he's like, if he died helping us. Like he's a fucking Marine all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But anyway, leave him behind. And then that's when Wolfman pops out.
That was a little weird.
Yeah.
Sean's like, you can't help him, leave him alone. And he's like,
What
but,
does Wolfman got?
but then
Kick him in the nards.
Oh,
Fat Kid repeatedly
Did
says.
anybody see that coming though? When I was little, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Wolfman pops out of fucking nowhere, and it's still scary.
And the kids are all screaming, ah! And he's like, kick him. Sean's like, kick him in the nards.
doesn't have nards.
What?
Wolfman doesn't have nards.
I said kick him in the.
Wolfman
So
doesn't
he
have
fucking-
nards.
he-
Do it
he
anyway.
punts those balls to goddamn Mars, and Wolfman just
Doubles over.
and he's like, "Rrr."
Hey, why didn't Dracula take the amulet?
Man, because then the movie would have been over.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't.
That giant hole in the wall, and he's like, it's
Yeah,
9.
Yeah,
but
I'll get it eventually.
Yeah, there's like, is it because of the
I like how you guys go from Sinister to like
Adam Sandler in
yes.
fucking Hotel Transylvania?
or like Jim Carrey in Once Bitten or some shit. I don't know, man.
It's 9.
So Wolfman pops out, gets kicked in the nards. Fat kid proclaims, "Wolfman has nards." That's when
The line from
yes,
the movie.
exactly.
The line.
They pulled
Exactly. Turd.
They pulled the
kids
arm
run
of
from
Jack
the three,
Daniels.
Yes, they pull the arm, but they're running
Slash
away.
Custer.
But they do that because they're running away from the 3 vamps, Drac,
Oh, yes,
Wolfman,
yes.
and that's when they find the secret door.
The blatant arm where Sean's rubbing his chest and like other parts of the statue's body.
Because everything is like kind of just like regular, and then the arm's just sticking out.
He's rubbing it down the thigh, the abs, and he's like, and Fat Kid's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Have you ever read the Hardy Boys? There's got to be some kind of thing here." And then all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, this fucking arm."
Yeah.
So they're in the dungeon, and they find the amulet. Sean grabs the amulet.
Wait,
and
you missed something.
Oh, when they come
the
back
line
to the
that
diner?
I honestly laughed at the most. in
What
the
is
entire
Is
movie.
this at the diner?
At the diner.
Okay, sorry. They come
Where
back
the girl,
to the diner
when it's
and
like, they're late. They should have been here by now. And the girl, forget her name. Maybe the monsters got him. And when you go,
And the girl looked down.
I seriously rewound it like 5 times. I love a good mock. A good mock is really funny to me. Yeah, so
yeah, you're right because I should have.
And then after that, Sean just
he
discovers
grabs
the
the
amulet.
amulet. Dracula grabs him.
I'm surprised he didn't
viciously.
rabbit punch him.
He looked like IRL
No
behind the
rabbit
scenes was
punch
ripping this kid
children.
apart because like he had a good grip on him.
Oh, yeah.
And then Fat Kid pulls
Obviously.
out a piece of pizza
Obviously wrapped in foil.
wrapped in aluminum foil and sticks it on Dracula's face and it just smokes and melts.
That's a great effect.
Because
too.
there's garlic on that pizza, baby.
Yeah.
See,
And then-
Sean's really bright because I wouldn't have understood that at first. I would have been like, how the hell did you do that?
It's like
Bro,
black,
that was
black
fu-
sheep.
It's like,
I opened the refrigerator. Bats are attracted to light.
that's Monts, you dumbass.
So they run outside. The rest of the squad pulls up on bikes and riding with Scary German Guy in his cool old school Jeep, I think it is.
It's like it's like some.
And then Scary
Hummer,
German Guy
right?
says,
It's like
"Is she a virgin?" And then she says, "Why don't you put it on the 6 o'clock news, you little shit?" To
Yes.
Patrick.
Kids swearing.
Exactly, all throughout.
Do we get to the
Exactly,
mummy attacking
exactly.
them yet?
Right here.
Right here.
What's that? Right here, what?
The mummy
Where
attacks.
the mummy hops
Yes.
on.
Well, Dad.
Love
At this
the mummy.
point, Dale, which is Sean's dad, and his partner are headed to the Shadowbrook Lane house to investigate the Wolfman call.
Shadowbrook Road, Richie.
I'm sorry.
I wrote like Shadow Hill Lane earlier.
so-
like,
Yeah, that's a zone in
And
that's
then
a zone in Sonic.
we see that the squad is rolling deep into town with Scary German Guy, and then that's when they see the mummy in the middle of the road.
I hate that cop partner so much. Look at this. I didn't want to talk about
my
it.
God.
I
Oh,
just
you-
crossed it out.
crossed it out.
I fucking
They
hate
see the
that
mummy
guy.
in the middle of the road, and the powers of the mummy. I mean, the guy can barely move, but he can sneak out of Eugene's room really fast.
And he has the latching power of an infant on a finger. He's like, sit. And the Hummer's driving by, and the mummy latches on, and he's like dangling. He's like, that's how flimsy and frail he is.
But they're
He's
doing
blowing
like
a
they're
kite.
doing like 60 miles an hour, and the mummy's like barely moving. He's just like, shoop, like just grabs onto it. I'm like,
But this
in the
does
fuck?
unravel into a great part. I love this part because
So Rudy
part.
grabs on
he's
to a
telling
piece
Fat
of his.
No. He's telling Fat Kid, give me some slack.
Yeah,
He's like,
yeah.
no, I'm not doing it.
No, he's telling Patrick. Sorry.
Patrick, guess who comes to the rescue though?
Pete.
Oh, the dog. The dog
So,
comes in.
Is it just called rapping? Like, what is that called? Doesn't that have a
He ties it.
They're just raps. I
mummy
guess.
raps? Mama raps?
Yeah, reps.
Okay, so he gives him
Chicken
slack.
Caesar wraps.
And Rudy, who has only stolen the bow and arrow.
Caesar raps.
They've never shown Rudy practice with his bow and arrow, but he's able to tie the wrap around his arrow.
Oh, he's a professional archer.
and from a
He's pretty
Jeep
damn good.
moving about 60 miles an hour right into a tree. And that's when
Unravels him, dead.
Dude, but once the slack tightens, the mummy's face is like
Yeah.
he's like
Oh yeah.
Well, he doesn't talk, but-
I thought again that all it was a stupid effect of the it unraveling.
and he's
and the
unraveling
dust,
and bones
and the-
are falling out.
Yeah,
It's
I thought that
so-
was a cool effect too.
so
I liked it
cool,
too,
dude.
yeah.
I love that part.
So and then Rudy says, "See you later, Band-Aid breath." I thought that was good.
It was a.
That's the best insult, but
So Dale and his partner cut
fondue,
to
baby.
Sean's dad.
It's full of cheese.
They're driving down the road and they see headlights coming straight on with them, and they're playing Ghost with this car pretty much.
The '59 Dodge Coronet.
And they're playing chicken, and it ghosts right through them.
But they didn't realize they were playing
Which was-
chicken. It was
no.
like all of a sudden. Ah!
And that's
it
when
kind of
they
seems
realize.
like a little bit of a ripoff of Ghostbusters 2.
When was
Remember
Ghostbusters 2 made?
the train?
No, after.
The train. Wait, what? Wait, was it the second one? Remember that they're in the old subway system.
That's
and
part
the,
two.
And the train
That's part
comes-
two,
Slime.
yeah.
Was that part 2?
Yeah.
Is that after then?
Yeah.
Oh.
It had,
All right,
I think,
well,
because
maybe-
87. I think that was 88.
Monster Squad pioneering
I don't
wonderful movie making.
So then they show Drac pulling up in the hearse. He pulls up to the
Yeah,
Crenshaw's house with dynamite. Again, dynamite.
Yeah,
he
geez,
lights
what's
this
his obsession?
dynamite.
Where's he getting it?
Throws it in the treehouse.
And
You know what he
does
says?
say?
My favorite line.
Meeting adjourned.
Meeting a judge.
So Dale.
So you didn't like that?
It was just. It's.
I love
That's
it.
fondue, baby.
Because it was a club. You know,
it's
it
like
was
that dry,
a-
cool wit of like '80s action heroes.
Yeah. And the
It's like a
one-liners.
JC
You gotta have the
Bobby or
one-liners.
like
Meeting a judge.
So then Dale, Mr. Crenshaw, pulls up to the house as Drac is walking to the car,
More dynamite.
and he's got more dynamite. He tosses it.
I like how he has dynamite. He's using unconventional.
This should be
getting
Matt's
it.
favorite scene because he has the dynamite and he throws it under the car, killing Sean's dad's partner.
Bye. Good riddance.
Bye.
Again, this is a kids movie, and he
Don't-
just blew a cop up.
Don't
But
fucking
anyway,
care about that guy.
He shoots Dracula multiple times, no effect. Drac says, "I will have your son."
I will have
He turns into a bat, flies away as mom watches. She freaks the fuck out, and then all of a sudden they realize they have kids and they're nowhere to be found.
Oh, did we address the shadow figure changing?
Oh,
Where
no,
the hands-
really cool, though.
Oh
In
man,
front
that
of
was
the
a great
house.
shot.
When the
That was a
mom's
great
watching
shot.
and all you can see is the shadow of
It
Dracula.
goes past him though. It shows
Yeah.
him, and then it's going towards the mom, staring at him,
And then it's
you
just the
see
shadow of the
house.
transformation.
Right.
It's
Change.
very cool.
Oh, it's so neat.
It was good effects.
And then all of a sudden, Dad contacts Sean when they don't realize where the kids are via the most powerful walkie-talkie on the face of the planet Earth.
The antenna was 12 feet.
it was just like the guns in E.T., right?
Just exactly, just
Oh shit!
What?
exactly. I just said exactly. Again.
You said exactly
no.
again.
Yes. So
I'm gonna make a supercut of
you
him
have
doing
to.
that.
You have
It's
to.
gonna take me weeks, but
then,
I'll do it.
Then we see the squad arrive at the church. They go, and just like in any movie that
gonna be
I've
like
ever
that
seen where
Trump
they
of him
had,
saying
they had to go
billions.
to a church, the church is always open. It doesn't matter what time. In the movies, it seems like 2:00 in the morning, you walk right into a church. They get to this church, and the doors are locked.
And it's midnight. We need to go where there's people. People are at a church at midnight.
Sure they are. Not
I
really,
didn't
don't
grow
know.
up in the church, but I would just assume
I
that
didn't
it's not
either.
like that. So they're waiting outside. The three vamps show up, and as
When he
the
says
hot
vamps,
sister,
he's talking about Dracula's bride. And one of Zach told me this is one of his favorite quotes.
Oh yeah, I like the line. Rudy goes to battle, then someone says to him, he's like,
Where you going?
"I'm in the goddamn club, aren't I?"
Rudy, what are you doing? I'm in the goddamn club, aren't I?
Yeah,
Oh,
and then he
man.
kills
He's
them.
got
so
that cigarette.
cool with the cigarette
Yeah.
dangling. Probably why I smoke now. Thanks.
But his form shooting that bow and arrow,
With-
it looks like he's
Yeah.
With a stake.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not an arrow. He shoots them.
Oh,
He
God.
shoots a stake.
So let's think about this. How does it fly if there's no feathers on it? Like an
he's
arrow
very
would
close.
have?
He's very close.
Okay.
very
yeah,
close.
that's fine.
I mean, there's no reason to look at this.
Answer this.
practically,
Right.
really.
Answer this
it's
question
about,
for me first.
It's about Universal movie.
I'm not
Master.
shitting. I'm not shitting on this movie because I really still do like this movie.
I
Always
love
have
it,
loved
dude.
this movie.
10 out of 10
But
right now.
Dracula's flying in as a bat.
Oh.
A regular sized bat.
I love this.
Dale pulls up doing about 85 miles an hour, doing a fucking donut in the middle of the street.
Just screws up all that nice
shooting
unloading.
shooting
man.
us like a revolver and hits Dracula flying through the air somehow, sending him flying into a warehouse.
window right through a window.
Right through
yeah.
a window. It's of a warehouse. And follows him inside, and we see a grotesque,
An awesome,
looking.
yes,
It's
half
Dracula.
formed, half
Yeah,
yeah,
really
it's
cool.
half formed, half not. It's human / fucking bat.
And he's just like,
And I'm gonna
dude,
bring
it's
up. I'm gonna bring
creepy.
up another reference. It looks like fucking Island of Dr. Moreau animals.
Yeah.
It does, dude.
It does,
oh
dude.
wow, that's so good.
It's creepy.
So then enter the star of this movie, Sean's dad, Dale, pulls out a stick of.
Dino
Guess what?
Might.
So there's got to be a sequel. Monster Squad 2, more dynamite.
More dynamite. So as he lights
Black
it,
dynamite.
and half humanoid, half bat Dracula's on the ground. He lights it and he looks at him and
What
he
does
says,
he say?
"Suck on this, you son of a bitch."
Because he's a vampire.
A bloodsucker, yeah. So Wolfman's coming up. You can see it in the shot.
How awesome was it though when he steps in?
Yeah, he
And
steps
he's like,
into the shot and he's coming up from behind him and you don't see it. So Wolfman, instead of like you would think would rip him apart, bite him, he pushes Dale.
No. Another fucking rabbit.
Was it a
punch,
rabbit
bro.
punch?
Oh, yeah.
He rabbit punches Dale, who drops the dynamite. Sean comes in from behind with a bat,
Dad.
and he says, "Hey, asshole!" And Wolfman turns around and he goes, "Boom!" When he hits him, he's like, "You looked."
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I didn't like that either. So Dale, fastest reaction time ever. He grabs the dynamite,
man.
puts it in the Wolfman's, which I love this scene. Puts it in his waistline, pushes him out the window, and as soon as he goes out the window and it breaks, he just...
Kablamo!
Did you think that was cool?
I was
First
cool.
time viewer.
Yeah, I
that's
liked
pretty
it.
cool.
Now, what I do wanna ask
I
you
rewound
guys-
that and watched it in slow motion.
At this part in the segment, I do want to ask you guys, what was Anthony Kiedis' only line in Point Break?
That would be a waste of time.
And then what does
Yeah.
Richie say after that?
Meat explosion.
And what happened?
Oh my God, meat explosion! How did I get that?
Finally!
How did I not get that?
Yes!
Hey, that was the first time I actually remembered the line.
Good job.
I can't believe I didn't remember meat. I should have said meat explosion.
I connected the... Wow. I'm gonna
that was
I'm going to have
Matt.
to do that up.
Matt.
Wait, this is from Point Break?
Yeah, it's from Point Break, but he always says meat explosion afterwards.
The quote
Who
is
says
not
meat explosion?
me.
Richie says
the
meat
quote is not a
explosion.
meat explosion, but he says that would be a waste of time.
And then
But
someone gets shot or something, and it's a meat
Anthony
explosion?
Kiedis
Not
tries
the
to
same
block
part.
he tries to block the door when the cops raid the house. Anthony Kiedis in Point Break, guys. He tries to block the door with his foot, and they push through the door anyway, and the cop just shoots his foot, and it's a meat explosion out of his sneaker. It's
Jeez.
disgusting. It's
So
just-
Wolfman was a meat explosion. I'm like, this is
Right.
the
This is
perfect
perfect.
time.
So Wolfman explodes. Very cool practical
Meat
effect.
explosion.
But
Hey, I need to point out that I'm going to cross off
I forgot when
the Point Break reference off my notes right now.
Okay.
There you go. But I forgot to mention that when Wolfman's throwing Dale around, and they're in this warehouse, there are these shelves of stuff and with boxes all over them. All they are Adidas shoe boxes. And
Oh, that's
Sean,
right, that's right.
Sean
I
is
didn't
wearing an
notice
Adidas jacket. They're all wearing Adidas shoes. I think I've seen a couple Adidas posters so far. It's just everywhere, man. Wolfman's mangled body is shown outside, and the parts of his body start kind
Terminator
of
2.
Magically coming
moving
back to
together.
Yep. Liquid metalling.
And that's when I realized that when they had that test at the beginning, how the 2 ways to kill a vampire, and they said explosion, they say all this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the explosion didn't work.
It didn't work because
Nope.
they're going back together.
So the body starts like a magnet
Reanimating.
drawing to
So,
itself.
as we see them coming back together, we see Hot Sister finishing the ritual, but no portal, nothing happens. We just went through some major shit. Where's this big limbo thing? Sean says.
No, Patrick.
Patrick.
Patrick, yeah, it's
I said
Patrick.
Sean. Okay, sorry. Rudy's standing over the dead vamps. He's very sad that he killed, I think. You see he's kind of remorseful looking?
A little bit.
And that's when Wolfman comes barreling towards him
Yeah.
from behind.
Mm-hmm.
Again, another shot of Wolfman barreling from behind. Cops pull up.
yep.
They shoot him, and then they try to apprehend the Wolfman. How much are these cops getting paid?
I'm on duty.
Hopefully a lot.
I'm on duty.
Zach,
and
do
it's
you know
the
the
first
salary
time
of the
I'm
average
not
policeman in
fucking doing that.
1987?
I'm on duty. It's the first time I see a
15
Wolfman
grand?
in my life. I'm going to jump on his back.
I'm going to race towards him with fists of fury.
I will choke him with my billy club.
Watch this
Absolutely
roundhouse.
not.
That ought to take care of it.
So as the cops are fighting with him, scary German guy says, "Are you totally sure she's a virgin?" And that's when she finally admits to her brother that she is not a virgin. She looks at
No.
him and said,
Well, there's
Steve, but he doesn't count.
Yeah.
How does that not count?
And then the note that I have after that is, I hate her for this.
Yeah.
Why would you go through all this? Anyway.
Poor Steve.
Wolfman knocks out a cop, and then...
Rudy takes
Rudy.
the silver bullet out.
Yep.
No, he grabs the dead cop's gun.
These bullets just magically fit.
Empty. Yeah, right?
Yeah. What luck. I mean,
Yeah.
the whole... Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. I never thought about that.
Yeah, that's
But he
weird.
empties the bullet,
So there's a
slides
mummy,
one in.
a gill man, a Dracula, a
He
Frankenstein,
pops-
and we're talking about the bullets fit in the gun.
He pops Wolfman, and
Pops
he
him.
immediately changes
This is
back.
another sad part.
Yep, immediately changes back to a human, and he's holding the gun wound, and he's looking at Rudy, and he says, "Thank you." Oh, and he dies.
So he dies. Then we
Horace,
see-
it's time to shine.
Yeah, we see fat kid standing around watching, being a fat kid, doing nothing, and then you see creature pop out of the sewer.
Finally.
On Horace.
Finally doing
And then-
something.
No, I
and then
forgot
it
about the
immediately-
creature, actually.
It immediately cuts to Eugene
Maybe they did that
outside
on
of the
purpose,
church.
'cause that was out of
course,
nowhere. It
yeah.
was like, pah!
It's like Wolfman out of nowhere in the house.
It
Dude, I
immediately
love that.
cuts to Eugene outside of the church, and he proposes a scary German guy that Phoebe read the diary, and scary German guy couldn't agree more.
Oh, he's
like,
so
yes,
excited. Yes,
yes,
he
yes.
is a virgin.
Wait,
So-
how come no one else read that? They're all virgins.
I,
think
probably
it's gotta
virgin
be girl.
woman. Yeah, girl.
It's gotta be girl.
It's got to be. It's
is it
always a
gonna be
virgin.
girl?
It's always a virgin. It's always midnight. It's always a girl.
So creature comes out of the sewer. They show him again, and he's moving in on a fat kid. The cops get in front of him, and he's just. Do you hear the noises? He grabs the cop's head, and he's like,
Yeah, he's smashing
he's
it, dude.
crushing.
Yeah, he's
Like a
crushing the cop.
stalk of celery.
And dude, it does. And the thing is, his hands look so awesome too,
Yeah.
because they're like fucking webbed and
Yeah,
clawed.
yeah.
You
So-
can't see the cop's head when he grabs.
Fat kid
Right.
grabs a shotgun from one of the dead cops, and he sees EJ hiding in a storefront with his douche friend, the bully.
Do you
from
want
the
to remind
beginning.
us who EJ was?
EJ's the douche friend. He's Wayne Arnold from Wonder Years.
Who was
Yes.
picking on?
Who was picking on
Horace in the
Horace,
first- in the
fat
first
kid.
part.
So he's like, "Let me in, EJ," and EJ and his friend are terrified. No, shaking their head. No. So I really, my note says, "Chicken shit." EJ and friends say no.
Yeah, the most uneventful kill of a movie monster in
So
movie,
fat
cinematic
kid
history.
pumps the shotgun. He blows the creature away.
Yep, that's
and
it.
that's when
Dead.
EJ walks. I like this scene. I always have.
I love that part, but
So,
it was like
EJ says-
"Was there no fight? There was no like
Right.
He didn't hit the gun
Yeah,
away or anything."
I was waiting for a little
was just
something too. Yeah. He says, "Hey, fat." EJ says, "Hey, fat kid, good job." And then he says, "My name is Horace." And he's got
and then it has that.
No, it's like my name is Horace.
Yeah. Oh man.
So
So Drac at this point is super pissed with 7 S's, I believe. He's headed towards scary German guy and Phoebe. Drac shoots scary German guy with the Force. Where did this power come from?
I don't know.
He like lightning bolt. Actually it says. Can you read that for me, Zach, just so I can prove to Matt that it's a real note?
Drac is pissed and is headed towards SGG. What's
Scary German guy.
scary? Oh, yeah. And Phoebe, Drac shoots SGG with a Hadouken.
This fucking beam of light comes out.
Hadouken!
Boom! And blows fucking scary German guy away.
Yeah.
man.
HADOUKEN.
Hadouken.
And then-
Hadouken.
This is a famous line from the movie because this is on a bunch of T-shirts that not official ones, but you can buy. But it's Drac grabs Phoebe.
Give me the amulet, you bitch!
Oh
I know, I was so like, I was like, jeez. It's a
That's
little
really
girl.
And
rough.
remember,
I was like, why is
his
so-
eyes and his teeth come out for the first fucking
Yeah,
time.
his eyes turn red.
he's like-
He's got the fangs.
And she, in the director said that was a real, genuine scream.
Oh,
Yeah,
it had
it
to
is.
be, dude. He was terrifying.
He was very
And
scary.
Matt, you were.
Why is she a bitch? She didn't do anything wrong.
How long has Matt been
Dracula,
practicing
I'm
that?
beginning to think Dracula's a big jerk.
How long is
You
what?
don't think that he practiced that? Because that was pretty good.
Probably did.
That was pretty good.
You're saying I
Oh, Matt,
practiced
like
Dracula?
this,
Oh,
this
yeah.
morning in the bathroom.
How am I gonna approach Dracula?
I'm
Just
just.
to see.
I don't like to. I'm trying not to say exactly, and I'm trying not to
You
reference
bitch.
my notes too
No, no,
much.
no.
But
You
I want to say
bitch.
my note says Drac grabs Phoebe and says, "Give me the amulet, you bitch." And Frank snatches his bitch ass up. Bogus. Tosses him onto a wrought iron spiky fence.
Not wood.
No.
Not wood.
I wrote my stupid note said I couldn't form my words. I wrote pointy part goes through chest.
It was a wrought iron fence.
I didn't know what to call it.
I
don't know
keep
what to call
referencing
it.
my.
Fence.
I keep referencing my wife. But Zach, I swear, if I get her on the phone right now, I was like, she's in the kitchen, and I was like, "Hey, honey, what do you call those metal fences that are like spiky?" And she's like, "A metal spiky fence," and I was like, "No." And then it's like, "Oh, wrought iron." She goes, "Yeah, wrought iron." I'm like, "Thanks, ton of help there,
Rod
Rachel."
iron.
So
Wrought iron.
I know.
So wrought iron is like
Phoebe-
a wrestler from the fucking
Like my
90s.
mom says, bob wire, B-O-B.
Bob wire?
She does.
bob wire.
Like when people say duct tape, it's not fucking
Yeah.
duct tape.
My mom won't listen to this. It's fine.
It's both actually, because the duct tape's the brand, and then there's duct.
Dude,
tape.
you know what? You're the type of guy that calls every fucking slow cooker a crock pot, aren't you?
You know
Oh,
what?
I sure do.
I'm not going to get too much into detail on this,
Crack
but
it.
I met a very, 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 very wealthy Indian man one time when I worked for Serpro, the carpet cleaner,
Yeah.
water restoration, and he was the guy who was part of the team that invented duct tape, and he's filthy fucking rich. Phoebe takes Frank's hand, and she finishes reading from the diary. That's when the portal opens up, which I need somebody to do some research on this, so help me out. I believe that the house that they're outside of is the same house that they use for the outside scenes when they show the house from the show Family Ties. Which one was Kirk Cameron in?
Family Ties.
Family Ties.
Yeah.
I think that's the
Wait,
same house.
that's Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
Growing Pains.
I
That's
think it's
right.
the same house that they use when they show the outside of the Seaver's house for Growing Pains. I think it's that house.
I think it's the outside of the house from Lethal Weapon as well.
Oh, wow.
Shane Black
There's a
must
scene.
live there.
Yeah, right.
There's some scene where it's
Hey, say Mono accused my house.
The portal
We could
opens
shoot
up.
Predator 2 in my basement.
Every bad thing and everything's
basement.
getting sucked in it. Drac grabs Sean, drag him towards the portal. So Sean stakes his ass
You
again.
think Dracula's dead, but
Yes.
he does come
Surprise,
back.
motherfucker.
Surprise. Supplies, motherfucker.
Stakes his ass again. And then we get a surprise. Someone from the beginning of the movie pops up.
Van Helsing.
Dr. Van Halen.
Which I don't know how long this has been around. It's been around for a long time.
thumbs up.
It's so
weird.
My last...
Give Sean a thumbs up.
my
Well,
last
Van Helsing's
note-
so old, like that didn't exist. The expression didn't exist. So like, Sean doesn't know that he doesn't know what it is. Like maybe it means something completely different to Van Helsing. Like
You
means
fucked
like
up again.
go away, or I don't know.
Go away. I want
I
Zach.
hate you.
I want Zach to read my last note of my journal.
This
entry.
is a sad part of the movie for
Hold on,
me.
Rich.
Was Van Helsing swirling in limbo for the last 100 years?
What was he doing?
He's just like he's really dizzy.
Just floating around, man.
He meant to do this, but he's like,
Yeah.
Thanks, bud.
Read between the lines, Sean.
Sad part of the movie for me as a kid. Frank gets sucked into limbo as he's holding on to Phoebe.
she throws him.
And she throws the teddy bear and he grabs it midair before departing into the portal. It closes. Town square's all fucked up. Everything's calm for a second, and then Zach.
The army guys.
They show up in a tank and everything. But how did they get there?
How did
Zach?
that note get there?
Who's your Gene?
How did they
Might
get
have been
there? Zach-
taken there by a carrier pigeon. For all I know.
No, but I'm saying, who informed them to show up?
Oh well, Eugene did.
What was what did the letter say?
I was like, "Dear army guys, like need help. There are monsters. Love Eugene," or something.
So the general shows up and he's got the fucking
Big
handwritten.
Stogie.
Can anyone
letter.
explain why the general's like 58 years old?
No,
All generals are, man. Aren't they?
all generals are. Yeah.
If you
I guess
need
so.
some
The major.
insurance and save some time, the general who does he looked just like that.
Who's
general,
Eugene?
didn't
Yeah.
Who's Eugene?
It'll
big
worry
stogie.
whoever you hit. Army guys show up. Who are you? And this is obviously their big time to be like, we're the
And then you
Monster
figure out
Squad.
why they were doing it in the montage, but
Right.
Yep. Well,
they hand them
What is
business
the
card.
business card.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Who are you? With the Monster Squad.
See, it's official. And that's the end of the
That's the
movie.
end of the movie, and then we cut to
That's
the
it,
Monster Squad. Monster Squad.
Yeah.
Oh, that song is not near as good as "Rock Until You Drop."
That's a great song.
It's not, but you know what? Hearing it again and again and again, that song reminds me of the Darkwing Duck theme for some reason.
The song,
Which one?
for the longest time,
credit one?
I
Yes.
thought the montage song was "Everybody Wing Chun Tonight" because it kind of has that same.
Oh
opening.
yeah, it does that.
Dun, 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 dun,
One
dun,
tonight,
dun.
rock until you drop.
Everybody.
All right,
rock.
well, that was my pick for this podcast.
I feel like
Yeah,
it could
well,
have been my pick too. I'm not even going to waste any time to tell you that I loved this movie growing up, and I still love this movie as an adult. And I will show my child, and I will watch it with him, without him. It doesn't matter.
Good.
With
Love,
or
love, love. If we still had a fun
without
meter, it'd be an 11.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm gonna take it from here. Like I said, the last episode, 10 out of 10. I love this movie. I love where the main characters are kids. I love when kids swear. It had some pretty solid cinematography. I really like the way everything was shot.
The effects.
The armadillos, fucking had no idea until I really looked at it. But yeah, a fun meter. I'm right there with you. 11.
Are you
I
sure
loved
that it wasn't an army of dildos?
Then I switch it from. I'll give it a 12 out of 10. All right.
Now,
It's
everybody,
my lowest rating ever. 9 thumbs up.
everybody,
Zach.
I need a moment of silence for just 1 second. Ready? Okay. Zach,
What?
this is your first time watching this movie.
Yes.
Matt, me, and
I am extremely anxious.
Matt
to
and
hear
I
it.
consider this movie a classic. We watched it as kids. I hope that you kind of watched it with a little bit of
Heart,
Grain of salt.
child of heart.
like a little bit
Child
of
of
child wonder.
Yeah.
What did you think of this film?
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yes,
it's
man.
good. I think I think if you had to compare it to something it's easily comparable to, such as The Goonies,
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's as good as The Goonies.
No.
No. Yeah.
But it's got a really, really good parts. Again, the creature effects are really good. The cinematography is good. It's fun. It's got some funny lines. The characters are good. Yeah, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it.
So what do you rate it out of 10 there?
Out of 10? Oh, jeez. For the movie,
what it is.
For what it is?
For what it is.
I don't 9 out of 10.
Nice.
For what it
9
is.
out of
yeah.
10. Excellent.
I mean, for a kid's like not coming of age, but like
Coming of age.
I mean, like a kids movie
You
where
just
they
wanna
band
get out
together
there
and
kill
battle
monsters?
something.
Just go.
Yeah,
Just go, man.
Yeah, no, it's
So
good.
there's not a movie like it. Like
No?
well, I think a group of little kids saving their town or world.
I mean, like other than Goonies, or
no, for monsters.
Oh, like saving them from
like,
monsters?
Super 8.
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh,
Release
love Super
release
8.
like what 20
It reminded
years
me
later?
a lot of Super 8. And
Yeah.
Monster Squad reminds me of all
What
the
about
kids'
Stranger
movies.
Things?
Sandlot. It reminded it just like the strong, but even as far as it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the bond that these kids, which there really wasn't a lot of bonding in this movie, and I'm not talking about like kids fucking in the sewer bonding.
There could have been a little bit more.
Sheesh.
There could have been a little bit
Something
more
like that.
character development. I think.
Yes,
Like I
yeah.
don't know really anything about any of these kids except for half of them. I knew their names.
And Dr. Van Halen.
Yeah, and Dr. Van Halen. Yeah, they could have done a better job like giving them each specific characteristics because like I think Patrick was kind of like
I don't even think he was
who
named.
was.
I don't even think he was named.
I didn't know his name until later. I had to look it up. Like he doesn't have any like.
I think they say it in the
Specific
principal's
personality.
office. I think they say it in the principal's office, or he says it when they run into the teacher. And
Okay.
actually, I'm fine. I love the fact that we were pretty thorough with this one.
Oh, dude,
I love it. We've gone a little bit longer than we usually do.
I can cut it down by 2 minutes.
That's fine. No, I don't care how long we go because it was a fun film. We all took very thorough notes.
Yeah.
It's a ton of fun. Again, guys, we are Video Store Rewind, and I didn't mention this earlier, but you can follow us on SoundCloud. You could search for us, subscribe, please rate and review on iTunes.
And
Pretty
yeah,
much-
don't be afraid to get on our Facebook page and
Facebook?
leave us a
But it's so
comment.
scary.
Leave us a comment. We'll always post pictures. And
Now that
we'll
we have the
always-
SoundCloud and the
know.
iTunes, we're pretty much on any podcasting app.
Yeah.
You can see us on Instagram and all that. Andre Gower left us some more information for his Instagram and his Twitter. You guys got to check him out and thank him for doing that for us because it
Yeah.
was incredible.
Oh, and his website, if you didn't hear it,
Yes.
RyanandAndre.com.
I told these guys it was amazing, and they believe me, they trust me, but they checked it out and they said it was amazing. Ryan and Andre, they do a lot of cool stuff.
You've got great fans. I've got great fans. I'd love to hear from you. So follow me on Instagram at Andre Gower Official and on Twitter at Andre Gower. And I've got a great project coming up. I'm making a documentary about Monster Squad fans and the dynamic that they have for the following of this movie for 30 years. So if you go to The Squad Doc on Instagram, follow us there, and you can get some tidbits and updates on this awesome project.
Super nice guy leaving that voicemail.
Oh man,
That's great.
I could not thank him enough. If you guys didn't know, again, we're Video Store Rewind. I am Rich. That is
Zach.
That is
Maddie.
And next week, if you tune in, we're reviewing a little movie called Night of the Comet,
I
released
can't fucking wait.
November 16th, 1984. And I'm working very hard to get in contact with one of the stars, Kelly Maroney, to maybe get a little bit of a drop again. Thanks for listening, guys. Subscribe, review, rate, like, share, all of that stuff. Consume.
Or just listen. That's the most important part.
Consume.
Video Store Rewind.